Hello, hello, hello. How's it going there, man? Just saw this updated, so let's go ahead and get looking. So, we have, let me go ahead and record this too for the video later. All right, so major update Wednesday, January 31st, version 1.10.0, the rod fishing major update. And the first screenshot is by. All right, let's find the screenshots. Did not think to post any myself here. I would say it's probably by the devs. I won't look at these right now. We'll just skip that for now. Dear Stormworkers, the rod fishing major update is out now. In this new update, you can catch fish with the new fishing rod, store and transport your catch in hoppers, and sell them at fishing trading points in harbors. It has been huge fun developing this update, and it has been great to see the players getting excited about it. We've been reading your thoughts, comments, feedback, and even watching some on YouTube. Thanks all the time and effort. Let us know your thoughts. Making trailers takes a lot of energy, and we're very impressed by the epic trailer made by Professor Incognito. Please see the patch notes below for details of this new update. As a reminder, updates now happen on Wednesdays. It is Wednesday. Somebody getting chased by a bear. So that looks like the fishing rod there going after right here, and then the bear going after fish. We're planning on doing a live Q&A session soon. We'll keep you posted. We're still interested in player feedback on fishing and particular requests for future commercial fishing updates. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on this new update. Much love, Stormworks developers. Patch notes, version 1.10.0 feature fish system overhaul, behaviors, items, animation, and sounds. Feature physics-based first-person fishing rod. I'm actually going to close down my game real quick so that we can get that booted back up with the update. Physics-based first-person fishing rod. Feature item vacuum hopper block. Feature default trading add-on fish markets. This is cool too because this could easily be added to something like farming, where if we have a new market mechanic, this can be expanded upon, so that's cool. Feature new map label icon types, including hospital boat and refueler plane. That's cool, so we can actually see those. Fix rope buoyancy issues. So that might be the rope weight. Potentially there was weight but no buoyancy, so that's interesting. We'll see that. Fix resolve several issues with add-on lure rope support. Fix JSI dock physics mesh issue. Fix bug tracker not showing warning when attempting to post large files. Okay, good. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just reboot the game here. I need to grab the update, so we'll update. Whether or not we need to start a new game, we shall see. I'm going to go try to not start a new game. We'll see. If we need it, we shall do that. So I'll make the video later for the update. Yep, just released. How's it going there, Zachy? I said hi to Amanda. How's it going, Luca? How's it going, Average Thunder Player? How are you? Daniel K, how are you? All right, you already caught a fish. Very nice. All right, so let's get the game booted up here. So very cool. I think this is a good start. I don't think this is the only thing we're going to get with the fishing update. I think this is a good start, and you know, you can tell by some of the language they're using. They're asking us for more input. Like, a lot of the people who go nuts and they don't really, they don't read some of the subtext. You kind of have to read some of the subtext going on here. You know, they have to cover their ass. They can't be too upfront about these things because, again, anything they take as a maybe, people will take as a promise. And so this happens all the time. And so a lot of developers don't ever show their cards because, you know, they get screwed by it. They've been burned too many times. And so let's read some of the language here. We are still interested in player feedback on fishing, and particularly their requests for future commercial fishing updates. All right, what is that saying is this is a first salvo into fishing, and they want us to help guide what we want. They're trying to be receptive to what we want. They want to hear it. You know, they've asked up here You know, they've said they've enjoyed watching some of the YouTube videos. They've mentioned 454's video a number of times on when he brought up fishing. You know, they're looking for us, you know, especially those of us who make videos that they can easily watch and see, and they can see the view counts. If you have a YouTube video that has thousands of views, the devs can say, oh, this is very popular. Oh, this one over here has 5 views. That's not very popular. Not that it's necessarily apples to apples, but it kind of says, okay, well, the next, we're either going to do Longline next or we're going to do Pots next. The Pots one has an incredible number of views. The Longline, not so much. Let's focus on Pots next. And then the other question is, there's 4 people on the development team. Okay, so you have 4 people brainstorming on what to do with fishing. And then you have thousands of us brainstorming. So likely, you know, the thousands of us might come up with some cool ideas. You might have some people actually in the fisheries industry who have some more, you know, insight into it. And so they're looking for our input. They're clearly saying they're looking for our input here. So the people who are saying, oh, you know, this isn't a major update. Oh, you know, just a fishing rod. I think they're missing the subtext there that they want to expand on this. They've said it multiple times now. So I think it's pretty clear. Let's go ahead and let's get over here. So I'm trying to see if I need a new save for this. May or may not. Let's see. Nope. What am I doing here? Get out of there. Get out of there. Stop. Thing. Let's see. Fish. All right. So here's the rod right there. So here's a fishing rod. Let's look at some of the new parts. So we have the equipment inventory fishing rod. Large equipment storage unit containing a welding torch. They haven't fixed that yet. Again, so they just reskinned the welding torch container, so they have to fix that. Hold left mountain to, yeah, it's still this. I wish they would learn from this. This is something they do all the time. I think it's very minor. I think it's funny myself. But a bunch of people get like, oh my god, they're so lazy. They didn't update the words. It's like, dude, when's the last time you haven't, like, done a spelling error or forgot to update the words on one of your builds? But, yeah, so it looks like they took the welding torch and worked on that. But, so as you can see, it is likely that, you know, so this will be in the bug tracker, I guarantee, quickly, but that is for the fishing rod. So here's the vacuum duct. So as you can see, the duct's now a basic resource duct, transport resources through. Let's grab a couple of these things. Let's look at some of the parts. So there's a duct. We don't need multiple sizes. Here's a funnel. Here's a hopper. And then here's the new vacuum piece. This is how we're going to be able to vacuum out. Oh, Jesus. Because I typed in fish and these came up. So here's a vacuum duct. All right, so this is going to be able to vacuum out these hoppers. So let's take a look at that as well. All right, so we'll go like this, and then it will vacuum in. So that's kind of interesting how that will work. Let's build a little something here that we can actually vacuum up. So let's fill this with coal. Let's look at these here. As you can see at the bottom, we have fish is now added, so you can turn on or off fish on the hopper. We have a duct here with coal in it. We have a funnel. Here you can see fish again. All right, so let's go ahead and let's drop this down to the ground. Let's go ahead and we will grab the duct. So all of these parts will be able to store fish. This will be able to the duct, I would say, will store fish. That will store fish probably as well. All right, so there's a duct. Let's go ahead and grab the vacuum duct. As you can see, look at the back of the vacuum duct. You can see we have that connection port, which is for these ductings or hoppers. And let's quickly grab this. Let's see how close we can get this. Cut that, move that over here. All right, so real close. Put that right there as a separate entity. Let's go ahead, and we can store in ducts, but we'll go like this. All right, let's go ahead and drag the coal level. We're just using coal. Again, the fish should work just like the ore does here. As you can see, fish right there. Let's go ahead and check the nodes on this. So we have activate the vacuum duct. Let's see, does it require electricity? It do. So, battery. And let's do a toggle. Let's do a push, actually. That way we can control it a little bit more precisely. Did I click on the friggin' thing? Come on, click, scumbag. It's my mouse doing that. Okay, and then we'll connect that like so. So these on the left have coal, and then on the right they have no coal. We're just using that to show off this vacuum duct. All right, so here you can see that has coal in it. This has nothing in it. Let's go ahead and activate this. As you can hear it, it is sucking it in. So that's really cool. This will be neat for a number of applications. For example, I have a front-end loader that scoops up coal on the ground. So here, this is another thing I want to do. So let's take this. Let's push this out of the way, our vacuum duct. Let's grab some coal. Let's throw this coal in the ground, and I want to see how far it goes from here. So there's 1, 2. So this would be really cool for, you'll be able to, for example, drill and drop, and then you'll also be able to vacuum for ore stuff. So that'd be kind of a cool thing. So let's see how close it has to be. So it probably has to be pretty close. Of course, I made this a push button now that I want to actually push it. So let's see. Okay, so it's only going to go out of the hoppers. It doesn't look like it's in a vacuum off the ground, which is fine. Would be cool if we had if it would do that, but it's not going to. So, all right, good to know that will only vacuum from the other hoppers. So, kind of, I think, a missed opportunity there, but I don't know if the mechanics would work on that. But you see here, we're down. We have 29. All right, so let's see how precise we have to get. So it's only going to vacuum out of the hopper, I think. All right, there it goes. Let's see how far it can go. All right, so it has to be right up against it pretty much. There we go. All right, so it is sucking it in. So that's one of the new blocks there. Let's go ahead and grab the fishing rod or the welding torch. So I'll bring up the bug tracker too. We'll go ahead and send that bug report in. Yeah, I think that's low-hanging fruit, man. People give them shit for that all the time of not checking spelling errors. I think they should kind of take that as a hint. Oh, I like the look of this. This looks neat. You know, I was afraid this was going to be really big and cumbersome, but it's nice. It looks small. It's kind of cool. I like it. Like, it looks really good. Right, that's left mouse button. Let go of it. All right, good. So this has actually got me really excited for things like Longline because I was afraid that we're going to have to use regular ropes. This could be pretty cool. Like doing Longline, this is the way that I think we could do it. Okay, somebody already put it up there. Yep, Tentacle was fast. They put it up there already. All right, you guys can go ahead and like that or star that Tentacle post on the bug tracker that has, he already put in that the spelling errors. So I really like this because, like, we're not using default ropes. It has its own native monofilament. And so what I would like to see is this has kind of got me excited for long lines. By doing a thin line like this, theoretically, like if you look at what this has on it, this is a nice, tiny little hook and bobber and lure. If you look, it has no collision, it appears. Let's see if it pulls when I go up, back up. So it looks like no. So this is actually, oh, there it goes. Okay, good. So that's actually pretty cool, man. So it does have a collision. I just can't kick it with my character. That is really cool. And this is cool because, you know, we were talking about yesterday during the stream how you would do long lines. Let me see if I can see a spool of long lines. Oh, come on. If I could spell, we'd be in great shape here. All right, so I'm going to try to find a spool full of, you know, long lines. Okay, they're not going to do that. I have to do long line fishing. Google's going to try to sell me everything instead of just doing it. So I'm trying to see if I have a... shows them reeling it in. But anyway, you have the hooks. You have the hooks hanging off of a singular line, and then you can go on a spool. So I think it's too cumbersome. For example, if we were to use ropes and rope anchors, and then we can't put it into a spool. So what I would like to see for longline fishing, which I'll make a video of all these ideas, and hopefully they, you know, they can at least have something to watch. But try to find something here that we can show you guys that's a reasonable picture. But here's a good one. Okay. So if we look at this pic here, so you start with you have a buoy, and then you have a line, and then it has the hooks coming off the line. You have different ones. Some of them hang up higher in the water column. Some of them go all the way to the bottom. And then you have another buoy. So what I would do personally if I was the devs is I would make the buoy kind of like the bobber on the rod. You know, I would make it float, and then all the hooks, I would make the hooks kind of like they already did right now, is they really don't have a quote-unquote collision. That way what we could do is instead of having us use regular winches, which are really not conducive, I don't think, to longline fishing, we should have a spool for it. And so you'd have a big spool, and you would connect the buoy to the end of the spool, and it would reel it in. And so you grab the buoy, you connect it to the spool, you use the same logic we have. You use a panel, you use an up button, it starts turning the spool. As it turns the spool, bingo, you get the first hook. You physically grab the fish off the hook, and then you put it in the live well. You spool it up some more, it takes that hook and it puts it on the reel, and then it goes like that. So I think that would be the best way to do long line. So eventually I'll put out a video on kind of some ideas on the different types of fishing. But this has actually got me pretty excited for that, because by making a new mechanic like this, I think that's really cool. So let's see, how do I reel this in? Let's see. Can I not? Okay, it looks like right now at least, so that's still zoom. So I'm thinking it's activated when the fish gets on, so you probably have to press the left mouse button when the fish gets on. I can't reel it back in, but it's not a big deal. I just go like that, and it's back in. So let's go ahead, and I don't know if there's any... Let's go here for now. All right, we'll put that in. So I really like the look of this. Physically, like, that's really cool. Like, see, the bobber is actually bobbing, or it's actually floating, and that's really cool, because I think this opens up the possibility in my mind that we'll be able to have, let's say you have one that's 5 times that size, and you can grab it. And then you would have monofilament line like we have already on this rod, and then you have all those hooks dangling off. So every, say, like, I don't know, 3 meters, you have a hook hanging off of the monofilament line. And then on the other side of the long line, you have that buoy. And so what you would do is, at the end of your reel, you would grab the buoy and you'd throw it overboard, and then you would start letting out the reel of long line. And then when you get to the end of it, you have another buoy. And so you would throw that buoy in the water. And now essentially what it would do is it would automate the fishing. It looks like the rod's getting pulled on here by a fish, maybe. I don't know. And so you would drop the other buoy, and let's say you... And now, for example, I think I'm probably going to have to hit left mouse button when I get a fish on. Did we get one? No. And so with the long line, it would essentially automate it. So let's say you had 10 hooks on the line, and then the fish would get caught, and it would be kind of, I don't know, maybe a chance percentage of hit catch is like you have a 30% chance on this hook, or a 50% chance. So if you left it out there long enough, you'll probably have a full line. If you go out there quickly, you might have 3 fish on, and then you reel it in, you pull the fish off. So I think this is really exciting to me. As much as people wanted to poo-poo, oh, we're only getting this, I think evidenced by the way they keep asking for more input, I think this is more than doable, and I'm really happy with the way they did this. Like, that's pretty cool, man, that you can see the bobber bobbing, you can see the hook and the lure sitting below the water. I think that's pretty cool. I think they did a good job with that. I don't know if I have to do a new save to get the fish. Daniel, you said you caught a fish, right? Let me just read a couple chat here. I'll try to keep an eye on that bobber while I'm going here. Okay, no need for a new save game. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. John Deere guy, how are you? How are you? Okay, you need a new save for the fish market. Copy that. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, some of like Daniel's saying some of his published creations still have names like Shitty Boat Backup Test 2 and Forgot sometimes. Yep. I think that's like that's one of the silliest things I think people give the devs shit for is like forgetting to name things. Like, how many times have you gone through your build and not changed a name? Like, I would say a good portion of my helicopters have, what is it? Stormworks Basics Car Tutorial as their microcontroller name because that's the microcontroller I started with. And so it's like stuff like that I think is just like whining us to complain about that. Like if you suggest it to them, if you do a bug report, that's not whining to them, that's pointing it out. But like some people will just be like, oh my god, they're so lazy, they can't even change the name. It's like we all miss those names, and it's like it's minimal. One fish seller sells for $100. That's not too bad, especially it's like for example, like this is gonna be cool for normally, let's say I go out in Vrijo and I rescue a person, I bring them back, I go ahead and dump them off at the hospital, and now I have like I'm waiting for another rescue. I could go and sleep, or I could kind of sit and fish for a little bit, and then when I get bored of fishing, go sleep in the bed. It gives you another thing to do. I think that's probably why they started this rod fishing. I came up with some ideas yesterday. For example, like here, watch this. This is why I think they did rod fishing first. The people who are complaining, oh, we wanted commercial. Yeah, that's more work. They're asking us multiple times for our input. They want some input from us. And so I think the reason they're doing this is really accessible. So, for example, here's a regular rescue boat that I have, stock rescue boat. This was not designed to be a fishing boat. All right, so I can go in this boat because I have, a simple rod, and I can turn any boat that I have into a fishing boat. And that's, I think, why they started with this is you can really, literally, like, I don't know if I can actually fish from the dock, but you can sit here and you can turn any boat into a fishing boat. And so that makes it so it's really easy and approachable. Now that we know that we're having fishing, and you're going to start seeing, I'm going to put out some videos. You'll see some other creators put out some videos of like, the big thing for me is crab pots. I really want crab pots. And so you start to see that. Well, then people have time to start building and coming up with some builds. And I think that's, probably why they came out with this. Because like right now, we've already started being able to fish in a craft that was not designed for fish. How long did it take, Daniel, for you to get your first fish? I'm just curious. Fish, duct, a trot line. You caught a fish. Made a fish storage. My fishing trawler. Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't put a hopper on this, but this is really like I can hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 currently fish in my inventory, and I could hold 8 if I threw off my flashlight and binoculars. So, you have a good bit of storage on you, And then this I think is big for multiplayer. Like for example, I could invite a couple people on. Because we're all on one boat fishing, the rest of the map can pretty much despawn, and so that makes it a little bit easier. For multiplayer to get in there, it's not like people are spawning 10 Titanics all over the map, So this is, I think, something that would be kind of cool for multiplayer. I talked about this saying yesterday. It's better to play a shitty game with friends than a fun game by yourself. And it's kind of the whole thing of, like, a big part of that is, like, if you can sit with some friends and play a game, even if it's a silly game you guys aren't really into, just hanging out, you're just hanging out with your friends, essentially. And so, like, I could have a friend that, for example, my brother, he doesn't really want to build in this game. He has it, but he doesn't play. This would be kind of cool. You say, hey, you want to come and go fishing with me? Or you have somebody who maybe they're not great at engineering. They're your friend. They don't play this game because it's not that type of game for them. But they want to hang out with you, and so you say, "Hey, I'm gonna just go in stormworks and throw the line in the water and fish. You want to shoot the shit and fish?" That's a good thing for people to kind of get in and play casually, and that would be, another reason why I think this is kind of a good thing. Let's see. Let me see. Is there anything? I want to just kind of look at the map. Like I said, I probably need a new save to get the fishing village here. But curious where the fishing villages are. I'll start up a new save at some point here. Daniel, how long did it take you to catch a fish? Okay, yep. Oh, did you see some? Okay, I've been reading chat too, so if you guys see something going on, yell fish. So they're physicalized fish. I think the devs said that they would spawn around the player, so I'm curious what they look like. You know what? The other thing, too, is do you have to have your fish turned on? I'm pretty sure I have my fish turned on. I'm just trying to see if I can see any physical fish, because if there's no physical fish, you might not get any. The other thing, too, is I'm curious about trolling. Can we troll? They have a radio. You have radios. You can radio control stuff. I don't know what you would do with the radio. Like, you could talk to other people. It'd be kind of cool. I don't see any physicalized fish so far. And then Daniel, what is it? Left mouse button when you get a bite? Daniel K said that you do not need to check your fish spawn rate. Yeah, let me check that option here. Maybe I shut it off too. Fish spawn's off. Thank you. That would be it. Okay, yeah. I thought I left those on, but I guess I shut them off. Must have been a laggy day and I shut them off. Thank you. That makes sense. Oh, there they are. I can see them right there. See the fish? Okay. You can see fish right now. There's a fella right here. Look at this fella right there. I actually want to get a screenshot of this dude so I can cut him out. All right. Damn it. I meant to press the other key, and I pressed this one. Okay. I'll get a cutout of him later. All right, so there's a fish there. Let's see. Okay, so we got a bunch of fish around us. That's good. All right, nice. Thanks for reminding me. I thought it was on. That was the next thing to check, so. Forgot I'd shut that off a while ago. Up, here we go. Look at him. He's coming for it. That's awesome, dude. You can physically see them going for it. That's really cool. That's really cool. You can physically see them going for it. Wow, I didn't even think they'd do that, man. So what do we have to do? Left mouse button? Or is it R? Oh, it's R. Okay, R reels. And then do we just physically pull it? There they go. Look, they're coming for it. Okay, they get scared by me. That's interesting. So R reels it because that's the new B, I guess. All right, I'm going to bring up the slack. But that is really cool. You can see them. That's beyond what I thought they were going to do. I thought it was just going to kind of like magically appear. But you know, it's when people were complaining that, oh, this is a major update. It's like, you know, that... Oh, there we go. When people were complaining, oh, this is a major update. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's a strike. Do I have to set the hook like I would? Oh, no, I've got one on. Look at that. Yay, look at him. Look at that little guy. Let's take a pic. I'm already having a lot of fun with this. It's like, I don't know. Look at that. Look at that man. He's got his big old fish there. That's a lot of fun. That's cool. So see, he's in my inventory now. So like, again, I think this is why they came out with rod fishing first. So I don't think you have to set the hook. I think they'll just nibble at it and then eventually you'll get a strike. Because I just started reeling in and I thought I got it too close to me. And no, he was hooked on. So the big splash, I think, is the animation for when they actually get hooked, is the big splash. Yeah, just put the fish spawn rate up and you should be good. The trading, though, you do need a new save, I believe, to sell them. That's what somebody said. It makes sense. The bases are actually physicalized vehicles in-game, so you actually physically need to reload the save to get the vehicles to come in. So you do need a new save for that. What I'll do here is I'll do it on the next career build series. Oh, there we go. See, he's taking it with him. So that means he's caught. So the big splash means they're caught. You just have to reel them all the way in. They actually are physically pulling it. That's really cool. So that's a dory. That's better size there. We can work with that. But this is cool, man. And then just leave the fish in there. Yeah, I think the people poo-pooing this are just being complainers. Like, it's fine if you don't like it, but it's like, this is pretty cool. You know, and they're clearly, I think, showing that they want to add more things. All right, so see they're just tugging on it? There's no splash icon. I think when it gets a splat, there it is. So the splash icon means you've caught a fish. They'll nibble at it, and then the splash icon means they caught it. So, but like, look at the rate we're catching fish now. We're catching fish really fast. So, who said it was $100? I think somebody said it was $100, which is pretty reasonable. You know, this is a good way to supplement your income. Is, you know, as you're out there doing some regular. See, he caught it. He got the splash. So, there's a good way to supplement your income that you can be able to just grab some fish. Like right there, that is $400. It's not a lot, but you know, like, how long have I been out here? Not very long. And so it's a good way to supplement your income. And you can even make this as a primary income source. You could probably can sit near the fish seller and do this. Like, you know, and so it's, again, this is not big commercial fishing. This is, you know, kind of individual fishing. And so you kind of would expect that, you know, I think we are going to get commercial fishing. I think it's pretty clear that they're looking for input. They do this quite a bit. It's a cover your ass thing, is the devs say, hey, what would you guys like to see in commercial fishing? And whether they actually do anything we say or not, what they're doing is they're getting cover. They did this for the pressurization update. They say, hey, would you guys like us to do pressurization? We could do things like pressurize ballast tanks and blow your ballast tanks in a submarine. And the community says yes. And then when we get it, they say, hey, the community asked for it. And it's true, you know. And I think the same thing is what they're doing here, is they're saying, hey, would you guys like commercial fishing? And then so what they do, this fish is, this is the new one. That's the new one. Okay. You know, and so then they get some cover for it. And so, like, say I put out a video and I talk about pots, and they give us pots, right? And, you know, if you looked in the comments from last week, you had a couple people like, why are we getting fishing? It's going to be so boring. Nobody wants fishing. Well, it was literally on the poll. And so by the devs coming out and asking, like, hey, would you guys like commercial fishing? They can point at all the comments people said of, hey, this person and this person and this person and this person and this person all wanted commercial fishing. So guess what? We have now commercial fishing. And so it's kind of a cover your ass type of thing, I think, for them. But that's really cool. Let's go ahead. Let's head back to the dock. We'll go and throw these in a hopper. I think they did it the right way with hoppers. Some people have already been kind of upset that they didn't do a new block for, like, live well. I don't think it really matters. You know, it's a pretty easy change to take a standard mechanic we already have. If you even look at the pictures that the devs put out, those were all their screenshots, I think, except the one from Professor Incognito's video. If you look at it, they had a stock dump truck. I forget who made that dump truck, but it's one from the workshop, and it was dumping fish on the ground. It makes it so that, for example, I don't have to build a separate vehicle to haul fish to the fishmonger. I can go ahead and I can use a standard vehicle that I've already made, and that's, I think, a cool thing. And that's why, you know, I think they did that, is by making it a stock block. Like, for example, I could take my front end loader and fill it with fish and dump it in the back of a dump truck. I don't have to go make a different build just to have fish on it. You know, so by taking a standardized block we already have, for example, here I come in here, I'm going to go shut off the coal. I'm going to go, I don't have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead, and I could do this if I wanted and make it only fish. We can spawn it, and now we can throw our fish in there. And so you could take any of your current dump trucks that will work with coal and ore and, like, just throw fish in them. So I think that's why they did it. So let's go ahead and we'll dump this bad John in there. There we go. He's in there. He's in there. He's in there. He's in there. She's in there. She's in there. All right, so there is 1 clownfish, 4 dories, and 1 sardine in the hopper. And then if we go in there, you can see we're starting to pull them out in order. So cool. Very cool. So, you know, and this is also familiar to us. They don't have to change the mechanic. It works like a regular hopper. So pretty cool there. You know, and then if we took the vacuum, we could vacuum the fish out. So pretty cool. I'm digging how they did this. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to make a quick save here. So let's go ahead, and this is... let's see how I want to set this up. I'll just do a regular fishing save here. Let's just do fishing. Okay. Shit. I didn't mean to save that like that. I saved it as fishing. Let me see. That's fine. I can delete that. I have to go to menu. All right, so we'll start a new... So you do need a new save if you want to get the ability to sell them. So do you need a new save? Yeah. I don't think it's a huge deal. Like, literally... For example, my career build series save's been going on for a while. I have a couple tutorials. I have a tutorial showing you how to work your XML. But for example, like, let me bring up my header. So, like, I'll actually do it right now. Let's just do it. It will take me like 5 minutes, and it will show you how quickly you can make a new world. Now, if you have oil drills, if you have oil rigs drilled, it will take you a little bit of time to re-drill them. But a lot of that's AFK work. You know, but you can start a new save here. So, like, let's bring up my save file here, and then I can show you, like, all your information you need. I'll show you how to copy over your save. It really doesn't take that long. You know, a bunch of people get kind of bummed out that this happens. But let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm doing here. So let's go to my, this is my career build series live from yesterday. So if I click on that, this is the one I want to make a new one. So here's my scene file. If I click on my scene file, you can get all the information you need here. So for example, I turn on creative menu right here. That's already in there. So what I usually do when I do this is I will go in and I will come up here and I will copy all of my header. So this header here has most of your information. So if you go ahead and grab from scene to that end there, right above player position, you could do player position. That's just the last position your character was at. It is X, Y, and Z coordinates. And so if you grab this header, if you look here, it has the current year, the month, the day, the hour, the minute, the mission difficulty. It has your total play time, total loot found, the currency that you currently have. That's the big one. If you're doing a classic career where you have research points, it will show you your research points there. So I just normally copy my header. The other thing you're going to need is if you do a Control F for search and you type in seed, down here is your seed number. So mine's 192837. So when I make a new world here, we'll just make one 192837. It's going to be a career game. We're going to go ahead and where are we at here? Let's see. I want to pick the Northmire Outpost. Enable add-ons. I always start by going toggle all off, AI paths, default AI aircraft. If it has a cog, click on the cog. Default AI on, click on the cog. If there's no cog, you don't have to click on it. Default Arctic building cargo containers. Default creatures on and click. Base animal spawn rate. Delivery zones, dock bollards. Elevators I usually shut off. You can put them on if you want. Landmarks, main mission zones. Default mission locations on and click. Right here. This is one a lot of people are missing. I still see people do this. If you don't want natural disasters, which I don't, shut it off. Oil spill missions, you can turn that on and off. I like display timers, and reward timers. I like to know how much time and how much money I'm going to get for it, so I know. You can also change your frequency. Again, cog, click on it. Mission transport, arid, moon. I'm going to do no moon right now. I don't really want that right now. Default natural disasters. If you don't want natural disasters, make sure it's off. You shouldn't get the siren if it's off, but I shut it off anyway, just out of an abundance of caution. Survey, railroad, resource, trading, Sawyer mission zones, default tutorial off, underwater mission zones on, DLC weapons AI I leave off. As you can see, you have a cog. So that is pretty much my save saved. Let's go ahead and we will confirm that. Let me read some chat here. Storage is just in other ore hoppers. Yep. Yeah, it depends. Like my rescue level is pretty high now. I'm getting missions where I will rescue up to like 10 people. So that's 10 times 3. That's 30,000 for the rescue, plus another 3 for the fire usually. So that's 33,000 I get for some of my missions. A lot of people just don't play long enough to get the more difficult missions, but you can get some missions that are pretty lucrative. You know, and again, some people are always focused on the meta, what makes me the most money at any time. I really don't care. I'm looking for what gives me the most fun per time. And so for me, if I'm enjoying fishing, then that's all that matters to me. So if I make you know, $800 fishing, that's more fun to me than doing a really lucrative mission that I have no desire to do. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. Let's do CBS Live Fishing. Okay. All right, that's CBS Live Fishing. We can go ahead and I'll show you again how you have to work on this. So if we go ahead and we bring up, these are my save files right here. So I just made a new one, CBS Live Fishing. So what I want to do here is go back to that scene. It should be open still. So here's the scene from the last career build series before fishing came out. We're going to go ahead and click on the fishing. You want to click on the scene. All right. So what we want to do is go to the career build series one. I want to go from scene all the way to the end of this line above player position. You could do player position, but you're going to, oh, you just teleport. Grab all this stuff here, Control C, and then come in here and grab the same area. So right there. And then if you go Control V, bingo, we have everything we need. Have everything we need there. So I have all my money back, okay? Now, what we're going to do is I need to go buy bases, but it's 246,332. We're going to go ahead and save that. Save. And then we can open this back up, and you'll see we have our money again. So CBS Live Fishing. So we'll have all our money now. How's it going there, Anton? Good to see you. Yep, Hopper Store Fish. I'm just trying to check chat here. Fishing was on the pole, yeah, exactly. Yep, yeah, that's the thing is we can build holding tanks into the floor of our boats. Now, some people want live wells. I agree. I want a live well. One thing the devs have to do that we don't have to do, let's look at the money real quick. And there's my money. So the only thing I'm also missing because of, you know, starting a new save here. Again, let's finish this topic up of doing your save. Does infinite resource give me infinite money? I can't remember. Infinite resource, that infinite money, I can't remember. Let's check real quick. Let's see. Player damage MP. I just want to check the settings here. Infinite electric, unlock all components, engine overheating. I think it either does or doesn't. It doesn't really matter though. So anyway, so this is the end of me like trying to get this save back to where I was. So like for example, I own Dre Moore. So we'll teleport to Dre Moore. If you put the creative menu in, I have a tutorial on that. You can teleport, you can no clip. So this is what I do every time I have to make a new save. It's really not a big deal. It's just, it really isn't. Like, I understand some people, they got a lot going on, but the way the game works, for example, even if you had a personalized base, it's just a vehicle. You despawn it. So that's super easy. And then I think we just have FJ, right? We didn't have any other bases, I don't think. And guess what? If you screw it up and you forget you have a base, well, you just go in that XML and you give yourself however much money the base costs you. You know, so it's really not it's not a huge deal to have to start a new save as far as I'm concerned. So like see, I have infinite resources on. My money didn't go anywhere. So I think we're good here. Okay, so right here, this is new today. If you look, this is the new hospital boat. It has a new graphic. It has boat shape. It has a small hospital icon. That's the new hospital boat, and when you hover over it says hospital boat. Let's see if we can find, I don't see the aerial refueling plane. They said they changed that as well. Take a little look around here. They said they fixed something at JSI. Here's a fish market, so it doesn't surprise me that they put it at JSI. That's a good shout out to them. Also, they said they fixed a collision. Ah, this is cool. So there's the vacuum. So what you would do is pull up with your live well, and now you can lower this down and vacuum up. I can hear it going. So that's pretty cool. So what is this all about? Interesting. Okay, so they're faking it. It looks like they're faking it. No, no, no. What is this? Interesting. Let me check this out. What is going on here? That's what I want to know. So is this a part we don't have access to? Okay, this... Oh, dude. No, okay, never mind. I'm curious about this. I wonder if they're faking this. They must be faking this. I bet you they're faking it. That's fine. Let me look in here. Okay. So they have storage here, so you could drop... For example, you can come on with a dump truck, and you can drop the fish right here if you wanted. Or you can drop this down over your boat, and you can vacuum them up. So I think what they're doing here is I think they're faking this. I don't think you can actually take the fish through these belts. Because it's a belt, then it's here. There's no connection point for that. So I think they're faking it here. Let me look. I think they are, which is fine. I think they're faking it here where this just, what it will do is magically suck up into the hopper and then deposit it here. What I would like to see them do is give us a, like, we have that cable connection in the editor. What I would like to see is have us have compact ducting. My big complaint with the oars and the, with mainly the oars is you have to make a huge, the duct is not flexible and it's huge. And so what I'd like to see is the ability to drag a node in the editor. So for example, you could drag the node from here to here and it would pass the fish through the duct. I'd like to see that. So here's where one of those fish sellers right here. And so like we could go fishing, let's see. Check our options real quick. Where is it? General. Fish spawn rate is high. Let me just make sure everything else. All my settings should be the same because I copied the header over. Oh, look at that. Resolution got... Okay, my resolution got knocked down. Windowed is fine. VSync camera. VSync is off. Disabled view distance. Disabled. Ultra. Good. I think we're all set there. So my resolution got changed. Always check your general rules. Make sure your physics details. Sometimes on a new save that gets changed. But I think we're good here. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab a fishing rod. I don't own this base. So, yeah. So we don't need to throw them in here. But we could throw them in, the fish into this hopper here. Just throw them right on the ground. And we could sell it that way. That looks like a fishing boat going by there. But, yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's one of them there. Fish market, sell fish here for $100. One thing that would be kind of cool is in the future, here's another one here at Urine Power Plant. So we got a couple on the air biome. I like that they put quite a few. I was afraid they're going to do one here, one there. Here's another one. Again, same type of thing. You can pivot this too, so in case you don't get it perfect. But this is kind of a cool way to do it. I would like them to give us that that flexibility so that we could, for example, connect invisible duct from here to there, and then we could make cool stuff like this because they're magicking this. These are all armor belts or ammo belts rather, ammo ducts, whatever you want to call it, and you physically can't pass that through. So they're actually not that's not real the way that works. There's a fuel. Was this fuel cellar always here? Was this diesel gantry always here? No, this is new too, I think. This has to be new, I think. This diesel gantry here at Urine for $3 a liter. I think that's new. I don't recognize seeing that. Let's see. What else here? We've got... check over here. So, yeah, they put a bunch, it looks like, which is cool. Yeah, so here's a fish market right here at Sawyer South. I like that they have these all over the place. I would really like them to work on, for example, the pricing so that you get more money going different places. They might have that planned for an overhaul. Who knows? Because people have been asking for that for fuel for a long time to get that fixed. Okay, here's a missed opportunity. Olsen Bay, I think, would be a really good place for a fish seller. But we do have one at Holt. So Holt Town has one. Sawyer South. This is kind of cool, too, because you can go in the river and go fishing in the river. So that's kind of neat. You can either come out here. You can go over to Holt Town. You have one here at Sawyer North. So they put a lot in. That's really cool. So there are a lot of places. There's one at Komodo right there. Nunnet Spy Cakes. you know, it's good that they don't have them everywhere. That does make you have to travel. This is cool. They put one here at the military base. There wasn't much to do up the military base. You do have your jet fuel cell, but now we can sell fish, so that's cool. Let's see. I'll check Tajin. Tajin's got one right here. So this is actually a spawn for boats here. So you could spawn here and go out. So one of the reasons I don't want you to have the fishmonger everywhere is, you know, some of the places are going to be better for you to run your fishing operation than others. For example, here is a good place to run your fishing operation. If you buy Tajin, right, which is expensive. Tajin's expensive. Tajin is, I think, 200 grand. So this gives you another reason to go to Tajin and buy Tajin. Is if you buy a Tajin, you get an airport and a boat spawn, and then you can go out, fish, come right back in, sell, and go do something else. There are other bases which are fine to spawn your boat, but you can't necessarily sell there. So you'd have to go spawn your boat, go sell somewhere else, and then come back to despawn. So it makes the real estate have more value in certain areas than others. So that's kind of a cool aspect of it. Like one thing that would be cool is I would like to see a price boost up here in the Arctic. The Arctic is really, unfortunately, dead. I think this does add some cool new interest to the Arctic. One thing I'd like to see in future updates for fishing is if they do pot fishing, which I think they probably will, it's a no-brainer, right? Build a buoy, build a hopper or a fishing pot. They might give us a physical fishing pot. I wish they would. I think that would be cooler. It would work just like the mechanic we currently have right now. When you get that splash, that tells you have a fish on your pole, giggity, and you know, it tells you have a fish on your fishing rod. And what you could do with the fishing pot is it would be the same mechanic. You don't need the splash, but you'd have fish. They would be attracted to the fishing pot because it's baited, and then what they would do is some of them would go in, some wouldn't. The longer you leave it, the longer it's going to fill. And then eventually it would get to 100% full. And if you pull it at 30%, you got 30% of fish. If you pull it at 100, you get 100% of fish. And then what I would personally do with a fishing pot is I would make it so that it looked different. You know, they did a really good job on the fishing rod. I think it looks fantastic. The bobber floats. It really looks pretty cool. The monofilament, they didn't cheap out and say, hey, we're just going to use regular rope blocks. I think they did a good job on that. And so if they did an actual fishing pot that looked like a big square fishing pot that you could stack on your deck and then throw out, one thing they could do that would be kind of interesting is they could put, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this, they could put a new winch block for just fishing applications. That could make it so you could do long lines and also pots. I was trying to think how you do pots, and this is the problem is, let's say you did a fishing pot. Let me quickly go over here. Let me go somewhere where I can build a little bit. We'll go to FJ. All right, so as you can see, we're already done. I've got everything done for me making a new save. The only thing that I'd have to add to my career build series save here is I had this well drilled. I would just have to drill a new well. That's the only thing that takes you some time if you have to make a new save. So, you know, a bunch of people make a big deal out of having to make a new save, but the main thing really is like drilling. And I can get a new oil. I could get this drilled in like 20 minutes, so it's not a huge time commitment. So it's not a big deal. But let's go ahead and like theory craft a little bit on what we could get. I'm gonna try to catch up with chat, guys. It's a little busy in chat, so if you're trying to say something directly to me, you can just do @CaptainCockerels in the chat, and then it comes up as a red message, and I'll see it a little bit better. I don't. What do you mean fix the refueling plane so it doesn't dive? I think that's just an autopilot issue, but it is. They labeled it. Just joined. What's happening? We're just currently testing out some fishing. We went to all the new spots to show where you can sell fish. Did a little bit of fishing. Caught 5, 6 fish, something like that. Yep, flexible belts for ammo. Like, this is what I would do personally. I'll make a video on this. The devs have been receptive to some of our videos, and so that makes me more willing to make them a video for the devs. So, like, this is what I'd like to see. So this is how I think hoppers and ducts should work. This would be good for a bunch of applications. So let's say, okay, there's your hopper, okay? And let's say we have a, so let's say this is the rule. You have to have a duct block somewhere in there, okay? So let's say you take a small duct block and you go like that, okay? And then, and I'm just using the regular block to represent the gaps, okay? So you have a gap like that, and then you would put on, let's say, duct funnel, okay? And so you have to, let's say the rule is you have to go from duct to duct. All right, but the difference is this. You'd be able to go in here to the logic, and you'd be able to go to rope logic, and if you have a cable, you can move cable to cable, you can move rope to rope, and what I'd like to see is move duct to duct. So there should be a duct node on this hopper, and you can drag it to a duct, and then you drag it to another duct, and it completes the connection. Because the problem we have now is, in order to move ducting from one place to the other, we have to go like this. And I find it to be way too big and cumbersome. It's a 3x3. Now, the other thing the devs could do is put a 1x1 duct. I would love to see that. So I'll make a video on that. But, like, see, you would have to do that. That is huge and cumbersome. You can't put many points of articulation. You can't put any points of articulation. If these are not connected hard, they will not pass for example, this case, coal from here to here. So what I'd like to see them do is the ability to do you come in here to your logic, you go to rope, and you do a rope node from here to here to here. Somebody's talking about, you know, ammo belts. So same thing. I agree with that. That would be kind of cool. Let me see. Where's the 50? Let's see, 50 cal. I'd have it as a 50 cal. Where's the 50 cal? There it is. Here's the machine. It's called machine gun. Here's the 50 cal. So the 50 cal is different. Let's grab a different gun. Where is it? I can't see any of these. Here it is. So like on this, you need to have you don't have a flexible belt. So what I like to see them do as well is, I think you still should have to have belt segments, but they should be flex belts. So like, for example, let's say this is on your helicopter, this is on a movable pivot, and then you have to have this blue piece here and blue piece here, but the difference is you go to logic, you go to rope, and now you can connect from here to here, and it would give you an invisible, or not invisible, a visible flexible belt that would go from here to here. It would pass ammunition through, just like a cable passes through electricity, and it would have no collision. That way, if it hits something, it just goes right through it. I think that would be really cool, so I definitely agree with your idea on that. Their pin throttle. Need to catch shark now. I don't know if you can catch sharks. Sailed past yesterday, docking tanker. It wasn't there. Can you fish in lakes? I would think so. As long as you can see them, I think you can get them. But I'm actually, like, I'm impressed with, they did a bunch of stuff that I think was more than what I was expecting. The fish to physically come up towards the rod, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it would just appear on the hook, which for me that would have been fine, but I'm happy. I think they did better than I thought it was going to be. I'm really happy with the fishing rod itself. The bobber actually it bobs, which is kind of cool. So that's really neat. That gives me some good hope for the future on that. But like, let's say, for example, let's do pipe. All right, let's say we're going to build a fishing pot. So like, this is how I would do fishing pots if I were them. So I would have them make us a good-looking fishing pot. You know, so give us a fishing pot. You don't want it to be, everything is like, too many things in game are oversized. So I would make it ultra big. And so if I were them, I would essentially do this. Let's do T-piece here. I'm not gonna completely do all these pipes. This will take me 100 years if I do that. But essentially what we'll do is, we'll make a pot. So whatever. Make a cage. I'm not gonna do the whole cage because I don't want to be here all day doing this. I'll make a video on this for the devs. They've asked for that. They asked for our input. They asked for videos. So I'll make one. And so anyways, you have your pot. Let's say it's this big, okay? And what would happen is the fish would appear inside of it. So over time, the fish would come in. They could even put a hole. Generally, you'll have a little hole where the fish can get in and they can't get out. So they could texturize this. They could make it look really good. They could even put a net mesh through the bars. They could make it look really good because it would be an in-game item. And then what you would do is, as the fisherman, you drop this down. So let's say you put a rope anchor on. I actually don't. This is the problem with doing a rope anchor. Let's say you drop this pot down 100 meters, okay? If you drop the pot down 100 meters, right, you're going to have a couple things hanging off of this. So you're going to have your rope, like so. All right, let's grab a copy of... Get out of there, you devil. Let's grab this, copy that. Let's go like that. All right, we'll do rope logic here. Got here, rope logic. This is the problem, is we can't set distances in here, so this will stretch out to infinity. That's kind of a problem. One way I have done this in the past is, for example, let's actually do this. Let's do a winch. So I'm trying to come up with a pot system that would work. So we could do a winch like so. We cut it like that. All right, so this is one way they could do it. But I think the devs could come up with a system that, like, for example, if you pick the pot up and you throw it in the water, it would release as much line on the buoy. The buoy would be a part they would make, and what would happen is the buoy would release as much line as it needed to float on the surface. And so then you would attach the buoy to the reel, and it would actually suck the buoy into the reel, and it would reel the pot in. That way, I think that would be a lot simpler. And that way we don't have to do it this way with ropes. But like this is the way you'd probably have to do it with ropes, is you'd have to have a winch, okay? And then you would have a rope. We probably want to do a cable. And so you'd have to have a microcontroller. And then do we have a connection on this? Let's see. All right, we can do an on-off on this, right? Let's see. On-off right there. So this is how I would probably do it. So let's go. It's going to have to be 3. Yeah, it's going to have to be 3. Okay, let's go ahead in there. So you're going to have up, down on the winch. Because, by them doing it themselves like this, you don't have to have all this. So, but it is kind of nice that we can also do the logic ourselves. So I'm kind of conflicted on whether I'd want to do this myself or have them do it. And then what we would do is on-off input. Let's see. Oh, let's do this. I can make this even simpler. So let's go like that. All right, so let's do that. Up, is that up? Okay. That works. All right. And so let's go, we'll do real simple logic on this. So if this is on, it will go up. I am going to have a down node. Okay, never mind. I do need a down node. So let's do a down node on there too. We do need it. So what I'm trying to figure out is the best way to handle these pots. And so... we do that, like so, update that. All right, and so this is how I would personally do the system. But like this is, by having us do some of this engineering work, I think this gives us more to do. I think it's more fun. So like we could build our own systems here to make our own pots. So let's do a rope anchor. Like so, and then we would want to do a tank. So tanks, I find, are the best way to make a buoy because they do float if they're empty. So we would go like that. You could even, if you wanted to really make this fancy, for example, you could put a transponder on there to find them. All right, and then so you would take this, The ropes are very heavy now. That's why I kind of think I would like to see a new monofilament block, or you know, have like a special fishing line instead of having a rope, because the ropes are too heavy. So this is the way my system would work here. Let me try to get it to work. Let's do... try to finish this up. And so this is kind of my idea for a fishing pot system, how it will work best. And then we'll do a cable here. All right, let's go ahead and plumb this up. So this, if this is on-off output goes there, this will be down, this will be up. And those are connected right. All right, those are good. And then let's see, I need to send out an on signal. So constant on signal. And then this would go like that. And then I'll just do infinite electricity for everything. So this would be essentially my pot setup. And so you would have your cage, your pot. You would have this, if you hear it, it is automatically feeding out line right now. It's pissing out line, so we could actually fly into the map and notice. See, it's letting out line. So when it's not connected to your crane, it would spit out line. So when you disconnect this, it would spit out line. So what you do is you go like this. And now what it's going to do is this should be going up. So see, it's going up, so this reels in. So when I connect my cage to the floating connection, it would start to reel in the pot for me. So that would be kind of my system, because the problem is once the rope gets more than 40 meters, you can't just grab it. So I can't grab it from the pot and hook it to my crane. And so what this would do is this would automatically, it would reel in the pot to the buckle. And as you can see, it's now going to reel in the crane. So this here is simulating my crane. So what I would do is reel in the blue line, and it would reel in the pot automatically. And this is how I'd get my pot on board. Okay, so now let's say I dangle the pot over the water. Okay, so the pot is now dangling over the water. All I do is grab that, and it automatically reels out the winch. So pretty simple there. You'd have to have a battery on the pot, but you could do a solar panel. It doesn't take that much electricity to do. And then, again, you come by. Okay, we're coming up next to the pot. This part's floating because I would actually attach it to the buoy, but this part is floating. So we go ahead, and now it starts winching in again. And so that would be, I think, a cool way to do pots. So I'll make a video on pots, but that's kind of what I think would be really cool for fishing pots in a commercial update. Let me quickly look through some chat here. You can use the dock without buying Tage. Oh, you can use the dock for selling? Yeah. I just more mean that, like, you can... yeah, you could sell at any of the points without buying the base. I know that, but you can't use the boat. So the benefit now of Tajan is Tajan's 200 grand. It's a lot of money. The Arctic used to make money because the fuel was worth so much extra up there. Now the fuel is not worth very much up there. It's worth the same as anywhere else. But now you have an incentive to go up there because you can spawn your boat at Tajan, go out fishing, and then come back and you can sell it at the dock and despawn. Some of these other ones, for example, let's look at the map. Like if you look at the map, for example, let's see. I guess you could buy there. All right, so for example, let's say that I didn't own this base. So that's 230,000. I would have to go from here around, sell here, and then come back and put it away. Over here, for example, military. There's no place to spawn a boat at military. So for example, if I wanted to sell... I could come up here and sell, but I can't spawn a boat there. So the utility of this is just as an airport. This base here, I can spawn a boat and I can sell fish there. FJ, oh, I can sell fish at FJ. So here's fish at FJ. So they didn't put them most places. They didn't put them everywhere, but I'm glad they didn't put them everywhere. So like beginner base, for example, where my beginner base and my military is here. Let's say I was starting a save, right? I could come out of here, and I could go up and fish, sell fish, come back. If I then decide to go buy North Harbor, this gives me an incentive to buy North Harbor, because now not only do I get a rail line and I can move cargo out of here, but I can spawn my boat, fish, come back, sell, and despawn. So that's just a convenience thing. So I think it's kind of cool they did that. Like over here at Holt, there's no place to spawn a boat, but you could sell fish here. So for example, you could come north, you could fish, sell, but then you'd have to come back and despawn. You know, so I am glad they made them a little bit different like that. They have certain places that you can't sell fish. You know, like you can't sell fish at Spy Cakes. So you could spawn a boat here and fish, but you got to go to Komodo to sell it. You know, so that makes Komodo even more valuable because it's just a convenience item at that point. But let's see, what else? Let me just read some chat here. Maybe have different fish have different values. Yeah, I would like to see that. Definitely. I would like to see maybe even sizes. For example, if you get a big dory, like just they don't have to make it super difficult, like, or they could put a multiplier in it. Let's say that you get a, see, this could complicate it quite a bit, but let's say that you get a dory that is 1 kilogram. All right, you put a multiplier in there. A dory's base price is $1 per kilogram. So 1 kilogram dory is worth $1. 2 kilogram dory is worth $2. You have a different type of fish that is worth $3 per kilogram. You know, that would be kind of cool, so that not only do you get excited that you caught that high value fish, but you caught one that is big. And so a big dory would be worth just as much as a tiny expensive fish. That would be cool. One thing I would like to see them do too is I would like to see warm weather fish, temperate fish, and cold weather fish. Now they could do this where, for example, crabs and lobsters only spawn in the blue area. So if you wanted to go out there and catch crabs and lobster, you have to go out in the blue area. And this starts to give you, there's another hospital boat. There's one right here. See, they're much easier to spot now. Oh, here's the refueling plane. This is the new icon for the refueling plane right there. Nice. So, you know, this would give you some incentive to go far from base. We don't have a lot of incentives to go far from base. You know, so for example, if you came out of, you know, Soaring North, you could go all the way up here and you can make more money by dropping your pots out in the blue. And so maybe it's worth your time to come up here, drop some pots. That would give you another incentive to go buy the base at Tajin here. So you come up here, yeah, it's 200 grand, but the benefit is if you buy this base, you spawn your ship here, bingo, you lay pot, and now you've got the, you know, really high value crab, and you can go sell at the fish market. But let's say that crab is only worth 100 each at this fish market, because right, it was really easy, right? You go ahead and you just come out here, you laid your pots, it's cake. It shouldn't be that easy. And so what do? You look down here, and because this is a, you know, a pretty far distance from the blue, maybe the crab is worth $150 per crab here. And then if you go down here, it's worth 160. And then if you go down here, crab is worth, you know, 250. Well, what does that tell me? Okay, well, let's do this. Let's take our crab and we'll load it on a hopper pallet. We'll load it on an airplane and we'll fly it out of Tajin. We'll fly it down to FJ and we'll sell it here at FJ for 200 bucks. That's really cool. That gives us some dynamic gameplay. That gives us some more depth and some level of gameplay there, where now it makes sense to put it on an airplane. That makes airplanes useful. And so it makes sense to fish for it and get it the hell out of Tajin, because, you know, a hot water fish here, one of these red fish, they're very valuable up Tajin. So the same thing would happen is you would come down here, you would fly down with your crab, you would stop that. You would land here, you would then offload your pallet, you would sell it at the fish market, and then maybe you go out in your boat, right, and you go grab a bunch of redfish, hot weather fish, right, so tropical fish. You then get some tropical fish, and you come in, and you load them on that pallet, you put it back on your airplane, you fly up to Tajin, and it is equally as valuable as the crab are. So that would be really cool because that adds some layer. That starts getting more of your builds in there. It gives you a reason to build a plane that could hold a pallet of fish. You know, so that's really cool. And that's where we could get live. You know, you have to keep the fish alive. So doing things like making sure there's water. You know, certain things for live wells would be kind of cool because let's say the fish will live in a hopper for only 30 minutes unless you plumb it to water. That would give you some engineering challenges. I know they already did it this way. There's always a balancing act. I think they're afraid of making the game too complicated because certain people, they want a more casual gameplay or they're new and it scares them away that things are so complicated. But it would be cool if we would get a hopper block that was called Live Well and it had a plumbing, so you had to circulate water through it. So that'd be kind of cool. Just pump the water through. That would be kind of a cool thing to do. You could have a tank of fresh water, and you have to circulate it and with a pump, and that's all it would take. That would be really cool, and then the fish will last indefinitely. You know. Let me see. I'm just catching up with the chat. Pretty sure we can fish in lakes. I'll test it out. Yep. How's it going there, Rasmus? Good to see you. Yep. Update got released. We're gonna go do some fishing here in a second. What's the vacuum duct used for? Zerfin, here, I'll show you. Let me see if it's still saved. I hope it's saved. Maybe it didn't. Did you not save? Here it is, right here. So here's my example. So we have a hopper. The hopper will now hold fish. This is the vacuum side. You can see it's empty. This here has coal in it. This is the vacuum duct right here. You push the vacuum duct up near it, and then if you press the button, it starts to vacuum in whatever is in the hopper. All right, here is the fishing rod. So we'll go over here to, this is the one at FJ here. Do make sure that you put your fish on. I had my fish shut off. You can physically see them. They're right there. They will get attracted. See, they're coming towards my lure. They're getting physically attracted. They will play with it. You can see them all coming in. They'll play with it. You'll get a white splash when they're actually on hook. R reels it in. So there's a splash. I have a fish. I'm reeling it in. You can hear it. I don't know how well you can hear it. I don't know how high the volume, but let me see. Make sure volume's up. Okay. So there's my fish. He's in my hand. I go here and I go delete, and my money should have gone up. I have infinite resources on. Let's shut those off. Infinite resources. Now we have money back. So notice my money didn't change. So like I was saying, when you make a new save, it really isn't that difficult. You go around, you put on infinite resources. Always, like I pretty much always have the creative menu added. Follow my tutorial on that. And you can teleport around, buy all your bases, and then all you have to do is shut off infinite resources, and it keeps the amount of money you had. So it really isn't that hard to start a new save. So you know, you will have to do that to get the fish sellers, which is kind of expected. Anytime there's a new... So the other thing that's cool, too, is I didn't think they were going to do this. See, the fish are physicalized? So I casted far away from the other fish. If I cast closer to the fish, they don't have to swim as far, so I'll probably catch them more quickly. All right, here's a sardine. I would like different prices for the fish. I should have checked that one. But like here, watch that fish right there. Let's try to get him. So can we get fish specifically? Okay. I didn't aim very well. But it looks like, you know, if you aim close to the fish, you'll get them more quickly. So we'll reel it in. I'm going to try to get it right next to some fish here. Take a little practice to get my aim going. But right. I really do like this, though. Like the physics and the mechanics on this are really good. The monofilament line really like excites me because I think we're going to be able to like it will be something I'll ask for in my video. Like we'll be able to get some cooler things like, for example, the pots having their own type of rope. We might not need rope if we do this. That would be really cool. You know, I would love to see a big reel that will reel in a special fishing line. So if we did long lines, again, like I said with long lines, have a bunch of these lures on the long line, and all we have to do is we connect the buoy of the end of the long line to the special fishing fishing winch, which will be a big round reel, and then it would suck in the there we go, fish on. Then it would suck in the long line. Oh, the fish came off. Well, that's cool. That's the first time a fish has come off. Neat. So the fish can. Oh nope, never mind. He did. He was on there. He's just tiny. But like you could sit here and do this. I think this will be fun for multiplayer. Like I was saying, a lot of people have issues with multiplayer. Like they're going on the public servers where there's 9,000 people, and they're purposely crashing into stuff. They're shooting missiles at each other. Like there's way too many people on there for what they're doing. You know, they're taking whatever they can get off the workshop that's not necessarily optimized for multiplayer. I think if you had like say 4 friends in a multiplayer game on your PC and you have good internet, a good PC, and you're all just sitting in the same boat, that means that the world doesn't have to keep everything populated. It can despawn. For example, the Arctic is despawned right now. And so you're probably going to have an okay time, and you can just hang out with some friends and fish. So I think that's kind of cool. One thing I would like to see that should be an easy add is, like, I can hold this rod in my hand right now. What I would like to see them do is have the ability to have rod holders. So we can do trolling. So what you would do is you'd put these rods in a specific rod holder block. You'd put that in the back of your ship for like a sport fishing boat. You would put the rod holder in, you put the rods in the rod holder. So you come up to it like this, and just like with a fire extinguisher putting it away in its receptacle, you would be able to go over here and you'd click place rod. It would then put the rod in there. And now, let's say you have a node on the rod holder block, let's say a composite node, and when you press out, it would reel out. It would drop the rods in the water, and it would reel them out. When you press in, it would reel them in. And so what that would allow you to do is you can then drop all the rods in the water, and you can troll. For those who might not know what trolling is, you just slowly go forward with the boat, and it's kind of like you giving action to the lure. And so it looks like a bunch of fish swimming, and then the bigger fish come. That was a nibble, not a hit. Here he comes back, and there is a that's another nibble, I think. Yep, another nibble. But I'm kind of excited. Like, I didn't think they were going to go this far in depth. That is a catch. A splash is a catch. I didn't think they were going to go in this depth, which this really, pike. Looked like a pike. This is going to be interesting, too. I think this is going to pave the way for some good commercial fishing content. I'm convinced it's coming. The way they keep asking about it, they want our input. That's them covering their ass. That's getting our input so they can say, hey, these were the ideas the community had, and we implemented them. And that's smart business on their part to do it that way. You know, and it's important to use the community as a resource to say, you know, they have a bunch of people who are going to have better ideas. There's only 4 devs. You know, likely there are going to be some of us in the community who have some ideas that are going to be better, that the community is really going to like. And so if one of us comes up with an idea, or I make a video and people are like, oh, I really like that idea, or hey, you know, wouldn't this be better? And I come out with another video, and then the devs see it and they say, oh, wow, that's a good idea. Let's put that in the game. They don't have to do all that research and development of figuring out, well, what does the community want? They don't have to go do polls and all this other stuff. They can just go watch some videos and see, oh, this was a really popular video for X, Y, and Z. Let's put that in the game. And that's a good way that we can get involved and be a little bit more helpful there. Let's see. Let me catch up. All right, let's see. Trying to catch up with chat, guys. It's just busy. Duct T-pivot would be nice. I would just like to see flexible ducts like I was showing. Pot would be cool if it had connections on top and bottom to stack better. Yep, I agree. Just kind of like have them snap together like Legos would be kind of neat. Yep, cables and pulleys. Yep. Yeah, you can definitely see the size differences on them. I wonder if building a ship that can drop a large square of hoppers can collect fish. Interesting. I don't know. Be interested to see that. Gives you a reason to go to the Arctic. Yep, exactly. You know, and that's, I think, right now, we used to have a reason to go to the Arctic because the fuel was worth so much, which makes sense. But now, we don't have that, so it'd be nice if, like I talked about with the different fishing prices, that would give you the incentive to put it on a plane and fly it down. They do that IRL. We used to put lobster on the planes when I was in the airlines, and people would order them. They'd go in the cargo, and we'd fly lobster. You could do that. You could buy a lobster in Logan Airport, and it would come in a live lobster. It would come in a there we go. We got a fish on. It would come in a one of the styrofoam coolers, and you could check it as a bag, and you could bring the lobster home, a fresh live lobster home, with you on the airplane. And so it's not unheard of, and it would make sense to like fly really high value items like that. This also gets me excited for farming. Like imagine, beef would be very expensive in the Arctic because, there's no beef in the Arctic, right? So, coming down here, having the ability to harvest some animals and then bring them up to Tajin. That's what I find to be fun gameplay, because you can still take the shortcut and say, oh, I don't, it's not worth my time. I don't want to spend the time going up to the Arctic to get the best price, but I can deliver it here close and I still get some good money for it. And so it lets the people who want to go fly their airplanes have a reason to do it. And so I think would be a good idea. But I think it's cool, man. Like, you can see how tiny that little fish is. We get the same price for all of them. I think the best thing to do, man, is go and feature request. If I put out a video, if another content creator puts out a video that you agree with, make sure you comment. Make sure you watch it, like it, because when the devs are looking for input, they're going to see a video that has a lot of views and is well liked and the community is really engaged with. If you want the devs to do what somebody puts in one of their videos, share it on, share it around, because that's the best way for the devs to see this is what you want. Be an active participant in trying to get what's in the game. Yep. Yeah, I agree there. Pin throttle's good. Yep. Yeah. So I agree there, Lonnie. It's like the better incentives we have to use the entire map, I think is helpful. Is it possible swing and cast? Let's try. No, pretty much straight. It's a straight behind the back cast. If you don't want to reel this in too, like say, oh, I have to reel this in, go like this. All right. That's a quick shortcut. Just go up, down, switch to another item. Like that. Oh, that was a bad cast. Okay, just up, down. But I am quite content. Like, look at that little bobber. It is floating in the water. Let's go do this real quick. Put up wind. So that is a physicalized floating object. That is really cool. The lure, I like the movement of the lure. They did a good job on this from a, see it moving in the waves? It is actually floating. There we go. Look at that fish. That fish was up after it like a maniac. I'm really, this excites me. A bunch of people are trying to poo-poo this, that, oh my, this is a major update. You could look at it that way, but you got to look at, this is a quality item, the fishing rod. Like, they went above and beyond. They could have made it look goofy. They made it look really good. The bobber has me really excited because I see future possibilities with the bobber. I see the ability to have, for example, bigger buoys for pots that we don't have to actually physically handle them like that. What I would do is this. Here, it's theory craft, and I'm going to have to get a quick drink and go to the bathroom, but let's go like this. So I actually have a buoy. Let's grab one. All right, theoretically. I have a couple buoys. So here's a mooring buoy. So anyways, this is your buoy here. This floats, whatever. So this is what I would do. Let's do a new one here. So a tank will float if it is empty. So what I would do is, let's say you have a buoy block. Like, I really like the bobber they put on there. So let's say it's about this size, right? And let's say it doesn't have a pipe on it, but it has a very thin, kind of almost like the thickness of an antenna on top. So let's grab a huge antenna. Right, so it'd be like this. But it would look better. The devs would make it look like a foam buoy with, it has an antenna on it. And this would sit in the water, all right? It would float, and it would bob up. by the devs actually making us some bespoke blocks for fishing, like buoys. Make the buoy a block. Make different size buoys. Make a 1x2. Make a a 4x1. Make some big buoys, make some small buoys. Like, say, a fishing pot needs a big buoy for obvious reasons. A small one lobster pot might need a small buoy. Anyway, so you have a buoy. This is how I would do it. I would not put the standard rope we have. I would have a special fishing line on there. And for long lines, we're talking long lines for a little bit. It's a line, and then it has little lures hanging off it, right? So I would do a monofilament line like we have on our current fishing rod. I would put a bunch of lures every like 3 meters or something, and then you would have 2 of these buoys in between. All right, so let's copy that. I'm going to put ropes on these just to demonstrate, but again, I think it would be better if they would do a special monofilament, because then you have to balance this where, for example, there's a reason why you use ropes for pots, but there's a reason why you don't use ropes for fishing, is they're too big and thick and heavy and the fish will see it, right? And so certain applications it works, certain applications it doesn't. So let's say this is your setup for long line fishing, okay? This is how I would do it. Oh, there's a dachshund there. So what you would do is you would come up to this, it would be floating. What I would do is certain blocks you can just pick up. You can grab connectors, you can grab magulls, you can grab a bunch of different blocks. If I were the devs, I would make the buoy block so that you can grab it. You would grab the buoy block, you would turn around, you would have a special fishing reel, and this is how I'd make the fishing reel look. So they have these for nets. Let's just build one real quick here. Okay. So I would have a specialized reel just for fishing equipment, essentially. I make it a special block. Let's grab, what do I want? Grab a couple flywheels like this. And so it looked like this. It would have a central spindle, and it would have a couple, it looked like that. That's what they look like. They look like a bell. And then what you would do is this would be just a block sitting on your ship. And it would have a composite, and it would work like a winch. It would go in, it would go out. But instead of taking rope or cable, it would only take fishing line, essentially. Whatever they want to call the block. Fishing line, whatever. And so you can make this work with pots. You can make this work with long lines. All right. And so let's put all this shit on the ground. All right, so this is how I would envision long line fishing working. So you'd come over here, and you'd come up next to this, and it would be floating. You go ahead and you grab it. You press the E key. You've got it in your hands now. You would turn around, and you would click right here. You would click there, and now it's attached. So the buoy disappears, and the line is now attached to the winch. So you step back. You would go, press your button on your panel, you start reeling in. It's reeling in, it's reeling in, it's reeling in. Okay, here's the first lure. On the first lure, there's nothing, okay? Nothing. Reel, 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 reel. Okay, here comes the second lure. Oh, there's a fish. You go over there, you press E on the fish, you grab the fish, you turn around, you dump it in the hopper, in the floor of the ship. You turn around, reel, 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 nothing, reel, 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 nothing, reel, 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 fish. Okay, grab the fish, dump. Reel, 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 fish, grab, dump. Grab, dump, reel, grab, dump. Oh, look, now the buoy's coming in. You reel, 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 and guess what? The buoy comes up here, and it either dangles or it disappears. All right, so now you've reeled in your long line. Now you want to put your long line out, okay? What you do, you come over here, you click, and guess what? The buoy is in your hands now. You throw the buoy overboard, you just go drop it, it's in the water. You can even do hold left mouse, and it throws the buoy in and takes some line with it, kind of like you cast the line. Then you go out, 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 and then boom, there's the next buoy. You go E, grab the buoy, press left mouse button, throw it in the ocean. It's going to sit in the ocean now, and over time it's going to catch fish. That's how I would do long line fishing. It would make it simple. It would make it interactive. It would give us some design choices to make. I think that would be a cool way to do long lines. So, that's how I would do it personally, because they did a really good job on that bobber. I would just make the bobber much bigger. And that way, we don't have to do things like, if we were going to do long line like this, it becomes way too cumbersome. You would have to go like this, essentially. So you'd have to go cut, I didn't want to cut it. I wanted to copy it. Okay. Paste. Paste like that. And then you would have to go like this. All right, it'd have to be like that. And then let's say that, trying to find a hook block. Let's say this was your hook block right here. So you'd have a hook block. And so it would be too cumbersome to do it like this. And the problem would be, you can't, once you get to the end of the rope, you can't winch it in anymore. So it'd have to be an innate block like the fishing rod. So the fishing rod, it disappears. So we cast out the line. All right, we reel it in and it disappears. So it'd be the same thing for this big winch here. Is as I'm pressing the reel in button, right, we'd have a composite connection, hook it up to a panel. It would reel it in with the lures. And so it would reel in all the lures, and then it would get to the end of the, the buoy would stick out. So I think that would be the best way to do this. Like, even if you wanted to put a buoy component, see, I don't know how to do it, though. You'd have to grab the buoy and throw it. How would you store it? How would you connect? I think the best way to do it is grab the buoy, click on here. It would automatically attach. The buoy would disappear, and it would just become a line. Reel it in. When you get to the last buoy, as you reel it in, it disappears completely. Then when you want a buoy in your hands, you would go click, grab a buoy. You would go left mouse, and you would end up just chucking the buoy out into the water like 10 feet like that. And that way it's in the water. I think that would be a really cool and easy way for them to do it, and it would be interactive. The big thing for me with this is, I was talking about this yesterday with my community, is that this would be great for multiplayer because, for example, let's say I'm driving the ship, right? Then you have somebody out here on a reel, okay, taking in the long line, right? Maybe their job is just to run the wheel, the other person's job is they grab the fish, right? And then let's say you have another friend and they really don't have anything to do. Well, what can they do? They can stand on the back of the boat and they can throw a rod in, and they can catch fish manually. That's the other cool thing with this fishing rod. Why I think they added it first is it gives people something to do, and it will bring people into the game who, like, you have a friend who you bought the game for. They don't like building. That's not really their thing, but they want to hang out with you. So what do? They stand on the back of your boat as you're having fun and playing, and they just throw a rod in the water and catch fish. People underestimate, like, after a long day's work, how much people just like to kind of like just chill out, listen to some music, hang out with some friends, and, and throw a fishing line in the water. There's a lot of games that people do it. Like Red Dead, people will spend hours just like fishing. So I think I think long lines would be cool. Pots would be cool. Nets, I would love to see nets, but I just don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah, we can't really swing and cast, Rasmus. I got a real lunker now. Oh, nice. I have caught a bunch of fish, yes. There are not designated fishing area. If you physically see the fish, you can catch them. And they get attracted. They did a really good job with that. I was afraid they were going to be like designated fishing areas, and they just spawn on the, which it wouldn't be bad, but they did it a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I think that's just slack. I think they did that, Jackson, because if you're out and really, I don't know why they did that, but it does let a lot of slack out. It could be that. Yeah, I'm not sure. How's it going, big man? Good to see the old big man here. Oh, maybe I can use this new update to teach my father how to fish. Exactly, yeah. I got a fish. I show it. Okay, good. Yep, wheat would be cool for, we're back to where I was talking about farming, but all sorts with that. Yep, you get a ton of frozen crab and fish. They move it out on airplanes out of Alaska. You figure, how the hell do they get fresh crab to New York? They fly it. That's why it's so freaking expensive. A lot of that stuff is expensive, one, because it's a dangerous job, but two, because they put it on an airplane to get it around, Farming, I think, would be really cool, yep. Make sure your fish are turned on in your options there, Guy. Make sure that you turn them up. Yeah, I agree, Zerfin. I think you need a buoy part because it just becomes too cumbersome. And then watch this. If we go put this in the ocean, it's not going to float very well. So we need a default buoy block because that way the devs can balance it so it floats correctly. They can make it so you don't have to add a handle to grab it and actually handle it. So that's important, I think. So like if we put this in, I don't know. Oh, they're full of diesel, so I gotta grab them anyway. They're gonna sink because they're full of diesel anyway. But yeah, it becomes too cumbersome. It becomes too heavy. So I think the devs would have to make a default block, and because of the bobber, I think it's 100% doable. Like you could say, oh, it might be too difficult until they showed that they could do it. So like, see that sinks. You would need a lot of weight, a lot of buoyancy. So they could make us a block, and then having a monofilament line as your long line, the devs can code it so it doesn't weigh anything. So like that bobber there is holding up all this line, no problem. And so they could do the same thing with long line fishing. You know, here he comes. That was just a nibble. There's a nibble. It's kind of fun that they just nibble it too. And there's one fish out there. If there were a lot, you know, we'd probably catch there. See them all coming in? There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one pike right up there. What is that? Oh, it's the crate. And then we could go take this fish and drop it right here. Yeah, so, you know, there were a lot of complaints about people like, you know, why are they doing rods first? I think they did it because, for the exact example I'm showing is, you know, imagine if none of us could go fishing for 4 days because we had to build a ship or you had to wait for somebody to put out a tutorial to teach you how to fish. It's super simple. It's intuitive. It's easy right now. Now that you kind of get used to it, now you say, okay, now we can, maybe I'll build a boat that could have a pot on it or, you know, just have a little crane. And then you learn the mechanics and you have to make small edits, you know. I can take any boat that what the hell is this one? Spadefish. I can take any boat that I own in game and I can go fishing. So I think that's why they did this. This just makes it super approachable to anybody, you know. I think anybody can figure out how to use this. They don't have to do a ton of engineering or watch 20 videos to figure it out. Yeah, no. The pulley parts, all you're doing is passing a winch through. You have to have something go through. It is out. Yep. Yep, like Daniel's comment here is good. Gotta say, I wasn't too keen on fishing, but this is a very good update now. I can make a fishing boat, and when I hear emergencies, I can help people out. See, this is the thing, is a lot of people, you know, who are kind of poo-pooing this idea. I think you'll find that they end up, even if they don't enjoy it much, they kind of realize that, oh yeah, it's not a bad update. Because it's like, sometimes you don't, like, it doesn't interest you until you do it. And then you realize, oh yeah, this isn't bad. I can go do a rescue, throw the rod in the water, catch a couple fish, put them in a hopper, and then whenever I get back to base, sell them. You know, it's a good little bit of extra income. You know, a lot of people, like, you saw a bunch of comments over the last couple weeks, people like, why are they putting fishing? And that's going to be so boring. Well, for those people, they don't want to fish. So, of course, it doesn't make sense to them. The problem is they're selfish and they don't realize that other people want these things that they don't want. But, so for them, do you think they want to go commercial fishing? No. You know, so I think this is a good gateway to get started. Yeah, fishing nets. Fishing nets would be cool. You know, they are, like I said, they're asking for update, you know. You know, they're asking for other things. Trolling is not possible, no. You know, that's another thing I'd like to see them add is a rod holder in the back of the boat and trolling. For example, certain fish you have to troll for. They're faster fish. They don't like a boat. You know, you have to actually move the lure for certain, especially sport fish, they want to chase. And so marlin, dorado, for example, this would be really cool is, for example, let's say they put in bigger fish in a future update. Let's say they put in marlin or tuna, right? And in order to get marlin or tuna, you must be moving between, I don't know, 3 and 5 knots. So you take this rod and you put it in a rod holder. So there's a rod holder in the back of your boat. It just looks like a little cup. And you go ahead and you come up with your rod and you press, when you look at it, it says place rod. You press E. Then, like I was talking about, you would have a, maybe you can do, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. You could, maybe you look at the rod and you do EQ to either let the rod out or let the rod in. What I would also like to see is a composite node. Please, devs, stop making blocks so huge. Put a composite node and let me just do it in a microcontroller where I can do up and down in the microcontroller. And so say, for example, that you have rods 1 and 2. 1 is on the port side, 2 is on the starboard side. We'll just do port starboard. And I hook it up to a microcontroller. And I'm in my boat driving because I'm by myself. And I see that the port rod has caught a fish and it is bouncing, okay? Maybe you could even put part of that composite fish on, okay? So let's say it has a fish on. So when a fish is on the line, it triggers the microcontroller and it reels it in for you. Imagine that. That would be cool, right? So when you put the rods in the rod holders, they'd hang off the back of the boat. You're sitting in the helm of your ship, of your boat, and you press drop rods. So what it would do is when you press drop rods, they wouldn't do this motion, but they would just cast. Right? So now you have 2 bobbers behind your boat, and in order to catch marlin or tuna, you have to be moving between 3 and 5 knots. So you would start throttling up, you would look at your speed, you're going 3 to 5 knots. Okay, good. Now, your port rod, when it catches a fish, it would say fish caught. Now, you could automate it if you wanted. You could make it so that it automatically reels that one in. So if fish on, reel in. It would reel in the fish would come up, and it would dangle. And then when you go over there, you would press E and grab the fish. You grab your marlin, you throw it in your live well. That would be a cool way for us to troll, get bigger, more valuable fish. I think that's another thing. So, like, this is why I think it's actually probably a good thing. All these ideas, and listen, people are going to come up with better ideas than I have, too. All these ideas, the devs would have to just come up with these on their own. This way, we get to kind of hopefully steer it, and when they hear a good idea, they can just do it. You know, the community came up with the idea, that's good. You know, and I think that's really, really good. So I'm gonna make a bunch of videos on this. Like, this has me excited to make some videos on it, too. But yeah, I think trawling would be really cool. I am fishing there, Dust Chaos. Nope, we're talking about that now, is rod mount. Nope. Renewing the stormworks love. Yes, exactly there, big man. This is why, you know, I bring this up again, this is why when you see people in the comments saying, no more updates, we all, or the majority want bug fixes. One, you know, these people have not taken any sort of poll. They don't know if the majority wants bug fixes. And if we look at the actual poll, the majority did not want just bug fixes. This is going to excite a lot of people. You're going to see, I bet you're going to see a bunch of fishing boats, just like sport fishing boats. I know you'll see some sport fishing boats on the workshop after this. And so you're going to see a bunch of sport fishing boats on the workshop of people going out and fishing. And it's going to bring a lot of people back. In a building game, in a parts-based building game, parts are king. So the devs have said they're spending the majority of their time on fixes. You can see this by the patch notes. And every 4 weeks, we're going to get something new. We're going to get 4 majors. You need the new parts to get people to come back to the community. You need people who have taken a break to say, "Ooh, I want to come back now." Like Big Man's talking about, we're renewing Stormworks love with this update. People are going to come back because of this. They're going to come back, or maybe they're bored and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to build next." And they're like, "Ooh, I want to build a fishing boat." Like right now, I want to build a fishing boat, you know, and so that gives me a lot of entertainment, you know. So you need new parts. You can't just do only bug fixes. You have to have a balance. Trap fish by running them into a hopper. I do not know. Trawling is not possible. No, not at the moment. You might be able to do it if you somebody was driving the boat, but I wouldn't, because the fish, you have to be going slow enough the fish can swim to your rod. They will still come, but it would have to be a mechanic where it's designed, I think. Oh, really? Okay. Now we can do spear fishing. You obviously need a bigger boat. Yep, little jaws. I'm building a Swedish trawler now, so hopefully we'll get some trawler blocks. Yep, that would be neat. Yep, yeah, so Pin's talking about, Pin Thrall's talking about, you know, just making some small changes to current builds to make them into fishing boats. Like, you're going to see a bunch of people who, like, had no idea what they wanted to build next are going to come up with it. You know, I'm going to start talking about, there's a reason why I've been waiting for the next build challenge. You know, I was waiting to see what they were going to do with this to have a topic to make the next one. So I'm not going to go over the details of it yet. I'm going to solidify the details. Hopefully we'll get toward the weekend. We can get the video out. Probably, I'm hoping Friday I'll announce the build challenge. Please don't go ahead and try to guess what I'm going to do and start building, because if I catch anybody building early, you're just getting disqualified. Not fair to everybody else, but let's see. Oh, there we go. There's a big pike. See, like, I ran out of fish over there. There were no more fish over there, so I came over here, plenty of fish. So this is going to give you a reason to move, too, instead of sitting in the same spot. You know, and then, like, use this as a microcosm. So right now, if I came over here to fish, right, I have to go a longer distance to sell my fish, you know. I dropped him over there. Oh, I wonder if he's physicalized. Let's see. I meant to drop one on the dock. Let's drop a fish on the dock. I want to see how they're physicalized. So, like, there's one right there. Can't aim too well, but notice he's coming right for it anyway. Okay, he bit it, but he didn't take it. Oh, there he goes. He's coming. He's coming. Okay, so this is the other thing. I don't want to build hype. I hate building hype, but all right. So they put the physicalized fish in well over a year ago, right? We had physicalized fish added to the game about well over a year ago, right? We've had Gila monsters, we've had alligators, we've had bison, we've had cows, we've had horses added to the game. Let's drop him. All right, so there he is. He sits on the deck. We can pick him up. Oh, he jumps. Look at that. I kick him too. He jumps, and I can kick him. I can pick him up. So we had physicalized fish added over a year ago, right? We've also had cows and stuff added. So, you know, a lot of people are complaining about them adding these animals. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe in a year's time, maybe sooner, maybe one of the other 3 major updates we have this year is something to do with farming. You know, that would be cool. Like, imagine, let's see, I don't know where there's a cow around here, but usually bison. I can usually find a bison pretty easy. There were alligators, cocodrillo, little crocodiles over here. Crocodiles that were on the shore here yesterday. So here's, the lakes aren't really lakes. The lakes are just ocean inland here. So, like, if we look, I don't see any fish in there. Somebody had asked if you can fish in the lakes, so I'll keep checking, see if I see fish in here. It also, they might have a spawn time, seeing I'm teleporting. Oh, shit, I broke my ankle. They might have a spawn time. They might spawn in there if I wait long enough, because I'm just kind of going quickly. Let me get out of here and try to no-clip here. So I'm curious myself. It wouldn't surprise me if I just need to wait for them to spawn in. But I'm trying to find, okay, here we go. So here's some bison. So, you know, you had some people complaining, why are we getting bison? This would interest me if, for example, we started getting farming. You could have something, for example, you walk up to a cow, you whistle or whatever. Maybe they do it like Minecraft. Maybe if you have food in your hand, they follow you. Okay, so you pick up a wheat, and they follow you. So what do? You build a trailer. You put them on the trailer. What do? You drive them from your farm. Let's see if we can find this. Let's get off the heat map. Right, so we're up here somewhere, and you drive them down to, I don't know, meat processing plant. So you drive them down here, and you grab your wheat again in your hand or whatever. Maybe they could do a leash on them for all sorts of different animals. Would be cool, a harness. And then you walk them into the sell area, and once they're in the sell area, they no longer will follow you because they're not yours anymore, and you get money for them, right? That could be farming. That could be pretty simple. So let's say you have Bison 1 is a male. So you come up, you do page up, male. Okay, good. We have Bison 1's a male. You come over here. Bison 2 is a female. Okay, female bison. Okay, if you have one male bison will calf out, say, 10 females. So you have one male bison, you have 10 female bisons. You put them together in within a certain close proximity, which means that there's a benefit to having a fence, right? So you come out here, you grab your wheat. This one's following you. You put him on a trailer. He's on a trailer now. You get this one, trailer. This one, trailer. This one, trailer. You drive him back to your farm. On your farm, you have a fence. You open the gate. You unload them off the trailer. Well, now they're yours. All right. If you have one male bison, can service up to 10 female bison, you start getting calves. Every once in a while, bingo, you get a small bison. Over time, that bison turns into a big one. Now you have 5 males and 15 females. Well, the numbers are wrong. So what do? You sell off some of the males to the meat processing plant, and now you have farming. Pretty simple. I think that could be added in the game in a reasonable way. It would let us build, you know, for example, let's go. Let me try to find one of the bases that aren't a pain in the ass to go to. Like, I don't think we have any inland bases right now. Like, if you look at this base here, we're on my career game, but I'm not going to... let's do this real quick. Let's save this. All right, let's do a backup to that. All right, so let's go here to this island. So we only have these islands we can buy, but like this is how I would do fishing or farming too, is let us buy inland spaces. And so you could buy this, right? You buy the property. All right, so let's go down. Where the hell's the thing? Here it is. That's the... Where's the inland workbench? Here it is. So you do this for farming. So you would have your farm plot. Let's say it's inland and it's actually where you'd want to farm. All right, you go ahead and you build yourself a fence. Now, the bison will walk around and wander, but they can't go through a physical object, which, like a fence. So you build yourself a fence here. You can build it out of pipe. You can build it out of that. I would love to see fence blocks. But you build yourself a little corral, and you build yourself a little gate. And this lets us build and enjoy the building. And the animals will just, you know, they can't go through a physical object. You'll see the bison all the time get stuck on the walls. On like rock walls, so they already can't go through physical objects. All right, and so you go ahead and you hook your fence up. Of course, I was one block off. We'll be all right though. All right, so there's your bison corral built, and so you build your own farm, you know, and then you could do things like have farm plots. We could get certain parts where, say, for example, the way I would do it, I think I would do it kind of on the more easy side is. Like this part down here is pretty dead on the map. And so this could be a purchasable farm, kind of like how we buy Tajin. This is a purchasable farm. And on this farm, it has farm land. And so farm land would be big squares of black earth, okay? And you have big squares of black earth. You buy the farm for 250 grand. And then you have one of those workbenches where you can build your actual homestead. You could build the house. You could build the fences. There's some horses. You could build the house, the fences, the barns, and then what you'd have is a combine piece. So you could do multiples if you want. You could do a corn head. You could do a reel. You could do a potato head, whatever. I think they would probably want to simplify it, make it like 2. And then you would build your own combine. And so it would turn whatever the crop is into the next stage of crop. So like it would turn corn into dry corn. And then you would have to have it go through a duct. So you'd have to build the ducting from the header into the ducting system. And it would then maybe have to go through a corn processor, which would essentially be the guts of the combine. And it would spit out chaff out the back. Which would do nothing, or it'd fertilize the field. And then it would put corn into a hopper, and then you would use a part to, you would drop it out of the funnel into a waiting truck. And so you could build your own farm equipment. That would be super cool. And then if you have wheat on you, or corn on you, or any of those food items, the animal follows you. You know, horses, same thing. You know, you come up to a horse, you have you either have a food item or you have a leash. You hook it, kind of like Minecraft. You hook the horse, bingo, 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 he's your horse now. If you feed him, like, let's say you feed the horse 10 times, he now becomes yours. And, you can do with him what you wish. Riding horses was something big a lot of us wanted. That would be cool too. So, bunch of cool ideas. We try to catch up. I don't know about spearfishing. I'll try. Let's see. We could try spearfishing. How's it going there, Alexander? Good to see you. Let's quickly try spearfishing here. I don't know if it works. But I'm already having a lot of fun with this, and I can see the possibilities of, you know what, just this is another object to put on your boat. And when you're done with a mission, when you're waiting around for a mission, you just catch some fish and throw them in a little hopper. And then when you get near the base, you sell it. You know, I think it can be pretty simple. What was I doing here? Oh, spear. Spear gun. The spear gun ammo. Yeah, here we go. Let's go take this for a test run here. That's a 2 slaughter, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go try, see what we can do out here. That's my crap. I thought it was fish for a second. Might have to wait for a second for them to populate. Because I've been all over the place, so they probably don't spawn in unless I'm near them. So wait for a couple fish to get in here. There's one right there. Up. So I shot it. They got scared. I don't know how do you aim this friggin' thing? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Okay, so I gotta aim it like this. I haven't played with this very much. Got him. Okay. And he's mine. There we go. So you can go spear fishing as well. See if we get money. So currently at 148.60. Now let's see, 148.60, 149.60. So yep, we can spear fish too. So that's cool. So a bunch of cool things you can do. Yep, ring in a nose, we can attach a rope. What leg is annoying you? Not sure what you mean. That's too bad, Owl. Good to see you, though. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's one of these things that's like, there's a bunch of things with gameplay that's tough. So, like, let's say you have 20 minutes before a busy work day and you just want to do something relaxed, man. You can jump in here and fish for 20 minutes and log off. And you feel connected to the game. You can play a little bit. You can enjoy your time. Not everything has to be super, super duper in depth. You know, you might, like I said, you know, I think we are going to get more complex things like pot fishing to it. I hope we get longline. You might have that extra friend playing with you in multiplayer who just doesn't have anything to do because all the roles are taken because you get a bunch of friends on. And so the ability for you to just throw a rod in the... I missed him. Throw a rod in the water and catch something, and you can also fish, you know. Bringing 5 friends on board to go fishing, you know. Like, I'm going to do a stream with the members. We'll do one where we go fishing. Then I'll do it with the general community, but try to do stuff. Oh, missed him. Do stuff with the members first. One of the perks. But, yeah, but I think that's really cool. So, see what I want to do here. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. Let's see. Let me go. I'm going to go use the facilities and get a new drink here, and I will be right back. I'll turn the music up a little bit, and then I'm just going to use the bathroom and get a drink, and then we can, I might start working on a boat to build. I think that would be a good idea here. All right, let's do that. I'll be right back. All right, I am back here. So we got a drink. We're good to go here. Catch up on some of this chat. What are you talking about, Slaith? I hope they make it so you can walk to the starter island without it starting that stupid mission. You do know you can shut that off, right? You know you can disable the tutorial. Is that what you're talking about? The tutorial mission? Just shut it off. Again, people need to click the options when you make a new save. Click on the options, click every option, click on the cogs. I've got a bunch of crap in this world I gotta fix. Let's see. Let's get out of this and go to the custom game anyway, because that way I can build in the custom better. Unfortunately, I've already spent some money in this save. I just have to fix it, but it's not a big deal. But where is custom? Here's custom. Custom right there. Okay, turn the music down a little bit again. There we go. All right, so get the custom world going, and we will go ahead and start working on a little fishing boat. All right, so we're trying to find some inspiration. I kind of want an old school, like, fishing boat you'd stand on the back of and fish. It would be kind of cool to have one that's kind of, we could do some other type of fishing, but again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to have all this too much going here. We'll need one eventually for, you know, when I make the video, but I'm just kind of looking at some pics. Don't need anything super duper, super duper huge either. Would be kind of cool to put a crane on it with a hopper. Even though we have that vacuum now and I could vacuum them out, it would be kind of cool to crane up a hopper full of fish. That kind of interests me. Give me something to do and be interesting. So I'm kind of looking around, looking for some old fishing boat. I'm going to type out old fishing boats and see what I can find for... Yeah, that's more what I'm looking at there. Kind of like an old school. That one, I really like that one. All right, let's start working here. All right, let's see. Trying to actually find one I can model. So trying to keep it basic. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but okay, I'm kind of liking this one. Let me open this up and I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. We'll work on this one, I think. That's an option, I think, and then we just had another one here that I liked. You know, maybe a fly bridge on it, but something simple like that. I really don't want to make this take 100 years. I want to kind of slap a boat together that is just, because we just had the rod fishing. I don't want to build it for potential stuff in the future. I will do the video on kind of like what I would like to have in the game later, but that gives me a little bit of inspiration to start with. Let's go ahead and actually we'll move to the beginner base because I want this to be able to fit in the beginner base. If I can get this done, trying to keep it super simple, like I'll release it. But just spawn over here and build it here. So this will just kind of inform size a little bit. All right. We're looking at there, 53. Okay, should have measured the meters too, but let's figure out how many meters it is. 53 blocks, 13. All right, good. Change. All right, so let's see. Okay, maybe like that. I think we'll do this differently here. Let's go. Probably, let's see, that would be the rail, that would be underdecking there. That would probably be good there. Maybe add a four bang here. Let's try a four banger here and see if we end up with issues. Could be a single screw, kind of an old school jobby. So screw and rudder there. Main deck line is right there. Perfect. All right, so maybe we'll move this just a hair. Let's go like this. A little bit more transom. That looks better for this profile on that, and then we'll work on the rail here. So go to about, oh, I don't know, there. And then this will go probably 2 bangs here. Just kind of fleshing this out, seeing where I'm going to want this to go here. Probably do a 2 bang on that instead, but so I'm just working on the profile first. So this is kind of the profile of what I want it to look like. It's kind of like that profile on there, and then the bridge here. So that's good. We'll work on this. All right, good. So that was be good. It is what? 13 and a quarter, 53. So we'll do 53 divided by 3. So 3 to 1 beam, length of beam. 53 divided by 3 is going to be 17.6 wide. So let's go semi-out-tree. Let's try that. If we might make it a little bit wider, we'll see here. So that's kind of width is what I'm thinking there. Let's see. It goes back a little bit faster. I'm kind of just looking at the bow of my reference material here. Yep, we like them old and slow here. It's a fishing boat. We're going to spend most of our time fishing. We also we don't have to go out to fishing grounds, so it's not like we're going out to the North Bank here. Then probably the 1 bang there. How's it going, citrus? I should have added citrus. I didn't see citrus in there. Is anyone be able to build a large steam piston engine with more than 4 pistons? You might start losing pressure if you have more than 4. All of mine have been 4, so I can't say. I haven't gone more than 4, but I would think you just need to put in a second boiler. Interesting. Curious if it's Dark Side Tripper. We'll see you later there, Amanda. Thanks for hanging out. I see. New shiny fishing boat. It's going to be a shiny old fishing boat. But I'm really thrilled with this. I think they did a good job with how they did it. I'm interested in seeing what the Grouchies are saying. But I think they did it the right way. It's a good way to get your feet wet in this. It really is. It's a good way to get a taste. It's a good way to theory craft. They definitely want us to theory craft. They want us to come up with some ideas, and and I think you're going to get a bunch of good ideas from the community, and that's kind of It's a good way to do it. Is get us involved in this. Um, and I think it's funny. The same people will give them shit for doing something like this, where I think this is them demonstrating that they learned from some of their mistakes by doing too much at once, and so the same people have been asking them to kind of like, do smaller updates. They do a smaller update and they're like, this is a major. And it's like, you just asked them to do a smaller update, man. They're doing it. They're asking for more input on commercial fishing. Like if they didn't ask for our input on commercial fishing, like they wouldn't ask for our input for commercial fishing if they weren't at least thinking about it, because people would take it as a promise that commercial fishing's coming. What they're doing is they're trying to get our input so they can give us what we want, you know. And it's that's what they're doing. It's subtext. People need, sometimes people can't read regular text, let alone subtext. But that's what they're doing with this. I would say that would be my guess of what's going on. Is they're asking for that input. Maybe it's a little bit too coy for certain people, but it's that is what they're doing, in my estimation. I'm going to fours bangers too early. Let's go to two bangs here. I have to go to four bangs for this here, so let's get rid of that. Let's go to a two banger. I want a two banger in here. I'm going to four bangers too fast, so. Well, I was gonna start working on a submarine tutorial last night, and then I ended up getting derailed by this. So. Like, I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. Just like even just the simple start of it is I've been enjoying this already. Just like going out and fishing and it would be overwhelming, I think, for a lot of people. Like some of us who have been building for a while, you can take for granted that we can put together some pretty complex builds pretty fast. For a lot of people, it takes them a lot of time to do it, and so by kind of making it a little bit simpler here, you can take any of your boats and enjoy the new content. If they made it too complicated right off the bat, you really got to go learn mechanics, and you've got to watch some tutorials to even get started. And this really allows you to just kind of start. And I think that's probably why they kind of took this approach of, put out something that's a little bit on the simpler side so that people can just go out there and start working and enjoying the game. And then as they tack on other stuff, then you can start to do it once you've kind of learned some of those mechanics. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Do I want one more? I want to get into the fours. Might get into the fours now. Yeah. Let's go into the fours now, so. Okay. So definitely an old school hull design. I like that. Definitely, like, I was looking at Damon boats with you guys yesterday, Damon ships. They just put in fishing stuff on Damon. I haven't seen the fishing stuff before, so that's really kind of cool. But it'll be cool to kind of theorycraft and go through some of the stuff and talk about what we want for commercial fishing. It's a good thing to get our input on these things, and that's why modding communities are really good. Is like, the popular mods do well and the unpopular mods don't go anywhere. And it's kind of, I think, what the devs are doing here is by slowing down a little bit and kind of asking for our input on these things. Like, what do you want with commercial? Even if they like already have their minds made up of what they're doing, they get our input and we feel like we're part of it. They and then when people are like, why'd you add this? People wanted it. It's the same thing. Like, I keep putting up the poll because people like, why'd they add this? Because people wanted it. And it's a good justification for them to do it this way. All right, let's see. Probably put, what's that? Two bangs there. Those are two bangs. Okay. have a 1x4 here, right there. Okay. And so like these type of fishing boats here have a low rail here because you like if you're gonna throw lobster pots off one of these, you'd want the low rail. I think 2 is probably too short. Let's do 3. But by having this low rail, it lets you then you know, go over the side of it. Might go up 1 on the. I'm gonna put a lip up on here. I probably will. So we'll probably lip the top of this by 1 more, like so, to break the water. You know, it can be very daunting to build a very large ship. So you start thinking pots. Like you could have a boat that like handles, I don't know what, let's say 3 pots on board, and that's still a pretty reasonable sized boat. And it's going to take a little bit of time to get that boat working. So by doing a little bit on the smaller side here, I think it's going to be just a little bit easier to get for people to get started. Ooh, that rail is going to be ugly there. I'm liking the top segment there, so I don't know what I want to do here. That's the floor there, right? Yeah, that's the floor. So I might cut off that top segment. I don't know yet. That's all right. I think we're good here. Be a little bit on the thick side, but that's kind of just the nature of the beast at this point. I think it'll look all right. You know, we put a bunch of cleats and everything else. It will get decorated, and so it won't look as robust. But it also kind of makes it seem like it's a little bit of a beef cannon if it's got a little bit of size on it. Yeah, digging that hull shape there. Let's go ahead and we'll continue back here. Let's finish up the transom line a little bit. So this little bump out here was where the crane was. So you'd pull pots up on that side. That's why it kind of sits like that. Let's see, maybe 1 2s, 1s, 1 2, something like that. I'm thinking. Often these, especially these old boats, had very squared out sterns on them. So don't need a ton of angling on this. Kind of committed to that length, so let's go like this. All right, stern. Liking that profile there so far. All right, digging the profile. Let's put the floor in, the decking. Get out of there, you devil. All right, go there, and then clean that up. All right, so that is the decking there. Let's go ahead and put scuppers in. This is going to be pretty much one level. There might be a little bit of a, like, hatches, but I'm not purposely trying to make this not ultra complicated to deal with, so I'm actively trying not to get... What is that block there? Is that a 2-bang there? What is this? 2-banger right there. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's right. Okay. So I'm actively, like, I don't want this to take 100 years, so, you know, I'm not doing, like, multi-level large Johnny. I'm just trying to keep it on the small side. That way I don't have to add as much detailing here and there, so. Okay, and then we'll do there. Okay. And again, the one thing that catches a lot of people up is you're never going to see under here. So it's like a lot of people freak out that their hull doesn't look perfect. It's like, dude, you're never going to see it most of the time. So it's like you can kind of just relax a little bit on that because it's you just really don't see under your boat most of the time. It's sitting in the water. You know, you see it in the editor and it bugs you, and then you get it in game and it's like, oh, I never see it, so it doesn't bother me. You know. So that's kind of why like I'll fret about it, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm never gonna see it anyway. Oh, what happened here? Okay, delete you. That's gonna be a pain in the ass right there. Okay, because I did it too early. Did it too early. Okay, right here. All right, we'll work on this. Get this set up here. Go. Oh, come on. Drag right. There we go. I think I want to do this here. Might go one down on this transom. I think transom's up too high. Yeah, I'm going to drop this transom down one. So, okay, yep. Transom is just not beef cannon enough. Okay, there we go. We do a single screw. I generally like to have twin screws, but a lot of these fishing boats just have a single screw on them. Does that look transom thickness? What's that? 2 blocks below the water line. I think that's probably going to be all right. We'll see. See how it fleshes out for me. Get a float test in there. We'll get it ballasted. Okay. So I'll put a crane on this, and what we'll do is we'll have in floor storage for the fish, and then what we'll do is we'll by hand fill it into a single hopper with a funnel on it, and then we'll use the crane to actually dump it on the dock. That way it makes it a little bit more interactive. Let me read this chat here. I'm trying to catch up. See the Tripper. Hello, Tripper. How are you? Somebody was asking Tripper about more than 4 pistons. I would assume that the one boiler is dropping steam. I know for my 4 piston setups, I'm running. I'm not pushing 60 atmospheres of pressure, so I would assume if you go more than 4, you're starting to get to the point where you need a second boiler. I'd say that was probably what the person's question is. Do you need a second boiler for more than 4 pistons? Actually, no. You know what, dude? I'm running 8 pistons off one boiler in my current home ship, no problem. So, was it Lonnie that asked that question? Yeah, Lonnie's asking that question. I'm up to 8 pistons on my current home ship, no problem with one boiler. So, I would go ahead and watch some of those live videos. That's working fine. Check out my tutorials, the Steam tutorials. It should be working fine. I have 8 running on one boiler and it runs really well. Like that ship goes 30 knots. I actually had to slow it down with gearing. Oh, people in the official Steam Discord seem happy. Good. For a change. The Discord's not too bad. Discord gets a little bit annoying. It's mostly Steam and Reddit that's negativity in City, and it's you notice a lot of the people who are negative are like they have private profiles. So you can't see like if they even play the game anymore, and so they're just disgruntled and like to complain. There are a lot of places, Joe. Just look on the map, but you do need to start a new game to see it. Yep, I see somebody answered for him. Why are they doing all docks so huge and without any stairs? Possibility to disembark. Anchor ship. Most of them do have stairs. That's been something we've been wanting them to do. Some of us have been wanting more realistic docks. They have some realistic docks up in the Arctic. I wish they would do them more places. I think a lot of it is just to protect the. They're trying to balance between the community who wants to launch tsunamis every 5 seconds and slap krakens with their hands, and the community wants a little bit more realistic. So, you don't want a tsunami coming up and knocking every friggin' container into the water. I just shut the tsunamis off, but I think that's probably what it came from, as an artifact from that. That would be my guess. Again, just a guess. But that would be why I think the docks are so high, is for tsunami protection, which, again, personally, I would like to see the docks be more realistic. All right, I like the general shape of that. What do we think about the general shape of that fishing boat? Let's stick this in the drink and see what it looks like. All right, so some things when you're building these hulls to start with. Expect that the bow is going to go down and the stern is going to come up, and that's expected. So we expect that. It's going to happen. Perfect. All right. This just on its own is pretty stable. We'll add some things to make it more stable. Perfect. All right, nice. I'm thinking I want a fly bridge just for the fun of it. So the next thing I tend to do is go like this and put in weight blocks. This is ballasting. This is dropping the CG. So like if we look at this where before, that's where the CG is. So like let's mark it. So let's get online. Right there is the CG. So we'll mark the CG right there. That's CG. Now let's go forward one. Okay, I got to delete it again. All right, so that was where the CG was. And let's delete that. Let's grab some weight blocks. All right, so before it was 2181. Now it is 3936. So, 1008, about that. And now you notice we're sitting a little bit stern heavy. We're much better in the water where we want to be. Let's look at where the CG line is now. So this is where it was before I put the weight blocks in. So you notice it's shifted aft and it is shifted down. So we want to shift it forward a little bit. So what we'll do is we will grab out that segment there. And now let's see where we're at. So we're getting more towards this line here. If you remember, the stern was up too high when I first spawned it. So by moving the block back one, that's good. We've also dropped the weight considerably from where it is. So our water line is going to be right about here. We want this transom to be in the water. This is going to be our water line. So I'm going to paint the water line. That's our water line. So could be one block up. I don't want it one block up because that's the deck. So I usually try to go water line one level below the decking. That tends to be where I like my water line. That way we don't get the water washing over the top. So that's water line there. So now if you see the center of gravity is right at the water line, that is way too high. That's going to cause instability. So now I've pushed it down towards the stern, which we needed, and it is now down lower, which will give us more stability. So let's give it an eye. Look at that. Perfect. That's about where we want it. So that's just some of the mechanics of getting started with these hulls. Like notice it's sitting flat, and that's just practice. Like you can see I can do it pretty much in a couple of minutes, get it right where I want it. There's a pike. And now watch. Much more stable because it's like a pendulum, right? So the mass wants to go down towards the center. So the lower you get that, the less my character is going to be able to swing this light-ass boat. All right? And watch, this will stabilize more quickly because that weight at the bottom always wants to go down, and it will nicely stop oscillating. Beautiful. So by getting this inherently stable right off the bat, let me actually save this. A bunch of people have been asking for hulls, so let's do fishing boat hull 1. Okay, we'll save this. So like this is where you'd want to start. This is what I would put on the workbench, something like this. You know, this is how I would leave it for somebody, because then you can put in motors. Generally, the way I do these hulls is I start with all the weight blocks. As you add engines and stuff, you're adding weight down here, and then you just delete out blocks as necessary. If your engines are back here, you would delete out blocks towards the rear. If your engines are closer to the front, you delete more blocks towards the front. So you can, this is all for rebalancing and ballasting. So pretty good there. Let's go ahead and pinch in. I really want twin screws on this. I always want twin screws. It really helps with maneuverability, and it helps with, it does help with, you know, working your speed as well. So I think we'll do just a 1 layer on this. I don't necessarily want to do paint blocks in there. Let's just not do that. All right, that's good. So that's sitting pretty perfectly where I want it. Let's plumb in some screws. I don't know if I'm going to do the new variable pitch props or not. Let's do rudders. Let's go. And then this one here will be flipped. All right, we'll be mindful of where the center of gravity is. The center of gravity is here, so if it's under the center of gravity, it's going to try to lift the bow up. So we just need to account for that. So let's go and we'll cut in likely there. And then let's grab props. I don't really need variables on this. We're one too big on that. Might have to drop those down. What I could do is this. I do have some free space in here. Let's do this. Let's try that. I'm not a huge fan of that, but that will get these in. Mostly just visual issue anyway, so not a huge fan of that, but that will put the props where I want them. So could drop them down another level. Let's see if I want to drop these down another level. Could just do that. Let's try that. They're a little bit low for the rudders, but I can't make these rudders go down further in the water, so. You know. All right, that's fine. We'll do this. Come on, give me the thing I'm asking for, you donkey. All right, yeah, I wish I could make these rudders a little bit longer, but just kind of the size that we're dealing with here. All right, so that'd be props in there. And then that's going to come in here. So that will actually work out all right. All right, good. I'm going to do twin screws. I pretty much always do at this point. It just makes maneuvering easier. I can kind of rotate the ship a little bit better. Gives me more stuff to do. Be a little bit more fun. Save, just catching up. Urine without. Let me quickly check urine. That's the fishing boat. I'll stick that fishing boat hull on the workshop later. Maybe we'll save it right here. I'll save it like this, so if people want the hull with props and everything. Let's go over to urine and see what you're talking about with can't get up. Oh, I see what you're saying, like right at the fishing thing. Yeah. Can you control that via radio? That's a question. Interesting. You should be able to get out here, but I see the point is This is where the fishing this is where the fishing output is. I'm on my custom save, which isn't new, so I don't have the actual fishing thing, but can you radio control that? I didn't see a radio on that. I'm curious if you can radio control the vacuum. So I'll have to look at that later to see if you can radio control the vacuum. But that's Ian's point, is right there. There's no ladder, so you can't get up to sell your fish. You have to. I always have creative menu on. You can no clip. It's not ideal. Of course, they should have it where you can climb up, but you know, that's kind of a fix for now until you know, I put a feature request on there. Is put a ladder. Yeah, be a good idea. All right, so those are in. Yep, so we got the props in, rudders are in. Go ahead and grab something real quick. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do this without absolutely annoying me with where this paint goes. Try to bring up my reference material here in a second to see what paint schemes. I tend to like this this anti-fouling color here that I use. I had a bronze color I thought that I was using. Let's see if I find it. No, those should be black. Try to find my bronze color here for the prop and then put the prop hub as black. Where's my bronze? Where is my bronze? That bronze, that's bronze there. And then we'll do like a dark gray prop hub. Okay, there we go. Let's see what this reference material looks like. It is black under. I'll kind of do some of my own on this. I want to paint this. Let's go. Probably bucket a bunch of this reliably and not have issues. Okay. All right, then let's do some contrast paint here. One, two, three, four there. Okay, come across. I should be able to plane that, not have a problem. Okay, and then we'll go. All right, and then what do I want for my undercolor there? Decking. Do wood decking. It's always a pain in the ass to do, but we'll do it. I can do 1x2s for scuppage under here. Let's see what I want. Usually I beige out that. I might black rail it. I might do this. I don't know. Let's see. Might do this and then black rail it. I think I'm leaning more towards that. I don't want two black lines on there. Let's do one black line on there. All right, let's do that. Let's do this real quick. Nope. We'll leave that, and then I'll, I'll hand paint that. Let's do. Okay, and then we'll just hand paint that out because it's gonna screw up some of my other colors if I do that. It has a black bottom. I don't know if I want a black bottom on this. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out here. Let's see. What on? I'm gonna regret this. Let's go back. Let's play with that. It has another white line under it, but I don't think I'm gonna dual line it here. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't put an actual rub rail on there. It's got a rub rail, so let's go ahead and cut here. Here. Okay. Okay, and then I need to count these again. I always forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I think it's a 4 bang we want to do, so let's go. Okay, so I think it's 4 bangs we want to do, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Bingo. Okay. Yep. It's the same as the number of blocks you're going. There we go. All right, good. Gives a good little bit of detail there. I forgot these are going to be have double side problems doing that. Shit. I forgot that double side problems. Double sided paint block, please, devs. That dicks me a little bit there. Shit. We'll go black. Can't do a single color interior ring on that. It's not gonna work either. We could double it up. Thanks. Probably our best step there. Oh, piss off with your color swap. Thanks. All right, so that's kind of in place. Let's see how that looks. Check the chat. Yeah, that's the issue, is just trying to get rid of the fish, I think, is it's up high off that. I wonder if you can radio control that. I'd have to check. Shit, chat's moving fast here. Let's try to catch up. Yeah, yeah, Ian. If you want, do that feature request like Citrus saying, and put it in the. There's one on the Discord, and if you put it in the Discord, it will. People could start it up if they agree with it. So that's what I would do. Yeah, bye. All right, let's finish up on this, and then this will be fun. We can go do some other. I'm gonna wrap it up, but this was fun. I'm really enjoying this fish. Like, just theorycraft about what we can have. The devs have specifically asked. Let's quickly look at the update. I'll go over it again for those who didn't see the update itself. There are so many hidden little hints in there, and not only hints, but they're explicitly asking us for more info. So, like, I keep seeing down here in the Grouchy segment, people like, this is a major update. This is what we get. Like, first of all, you have to understand the tech here is the fish are now attracted to the lure. The bobber is really, really well done. And this is giving us technology which we should then be able to use for other types of commercial fishing. If the devs didn't want to do commercial fishing, if they were only going to do the rod, they would not keep bringing it up, because that's how you get people, even if it's a good update, you get them hyped up and then you let them down. They're asking for more things. Personally, my thought is, one, the community's been asking them to do smaller updates that they can accomplish without making huge changes to the game at once, so people can get used to it. They're also trying to get more input from the community that they can use as cover to say, hey, we asked, people wanted this, it's in the game, people asked for this. And so it sounds like that's exactly what they're doing. So if, we look at this here, let me see. They added up some good stuff, and if you look here, let me see. All right, here we go. We're planning on doing a live Q&A session soon. It would not surprise me if the reason why they're doing a live Q&A session is to talk about what they're planning on doing here, and to get some input and to answer some questions. That does not surprise me. The Q&A is coming soon. They need to have some things for the Q&A. If they told us everything, then you get a Q&A and you don't have any questions. And so this is, I think, one of the reasons why maybe they're a little tight-lipped on some of this. Right here, we are still interested in player feedback on fishing, and particularly their requests for future commercial fishing updates. They didn't say for the potential future commercial fishing updates. If you've read these, I read these every week. I go through it multiple times. I listen to my own video a couple times to edit it. You start to see they use keywords. They're very, they don't always choose their words correctly, but they try to, I think, seem to pick their word. They really pay attention to what words they're choosing. That's how they did like the reel and the catch you next week stuff. They do pick their words pretty carefully, and they say, and particularly their requests for future commercial fishing updates. They didn't say their request for possible future commercial fishing updates. I think if I were to guess, it is they have always intended to do this, but they're coming in slow. They're making sure this works, which is what we as a community, or many of us in the community, have been asking for, is come out with smaller updates that work and then expand upon them. Like if you've been reading the comments in the last couple months, that's what a lot of people have been asking for. And it seems like they're being responsive to this. Come out with the first step and then get our input on it and then do what we've asked for. And when somebody says, oh, I don't like the way you did pots, hey, we followed what a couple of YouTubers suggested. They had thousands of views. The community seemed really happy with what they suggested. That's why we did it that way. That's cover for them. It covers their ass. And I think that's what they're trying to do here. So that is, that's right there. That's a line there. Going in this next week here. Let's see. Just trying to see like some of these like little words they're using. All right. I'm just kind of going through here. Like you can see these right here. This is a rhetorical question. People take it as though the devs are just floating through existence. I don't think so. Say, but is this the fishing update you wanted? I think they would have stopped there if they legitimately thought this is the only thing we wanted. Then they go in with the qualifier. I see many incredible fishing trawlers in the workshop. If you have ideas for commercial scale fishing, we would love to hear your thoughts and feedback for potential future updates. This one says potential, the other one does not. It says for future commercial updates. They said potential here, and then they went and it's more solidified up here. You know, you got to read some of the subtext in here. You know, they're looking for the input so that they can give us what we want. So the same people who will complain about that will complain that they're not listening to what we're asking for. This is the time for you to show them what you want. Come up with examples. You know, put in feature requests. They're asking for it now. This is the time to do it. You know, and so I think they're actively doing this sort of thing to get it a little bit more on point what they want. And like I said, people on a weekly basis have been asking for these updates to be more reasonable so that they come in a better, more completed state. So good work on this fishing boat. Really excited about the new fishing stuff. I would say very highly likely we're going to get commercial stuff. But this was the first salvo, and I'm happy with it. I think it's been fun. Like this little boat here, we'll work on probably in the career build series. You know, like I plan on putting on a hoppers in the floor as a live well, and then I want to put a crane with a hopper, and you'll actually crane it up onto the dock. Like one thing I want to do is like try to find where the closest one's urine. Let's see if we can actually get over here. Let's do this real quick. I want to save this before I screw it up. So let's save this. All right, here's save the fishing boat. All right, let's go over here real quick. So, like, this is one thing you could do is, you know, my favorite thing to do is have a bunch of different vehicles and go from step to step to step to step. And so, like, look at right here. Look at how much space we have between this rock wall and where we can sell fish at urine. So we have plenty of space. We definitely have space at JSI. We have space at Sawyer South, at Holt. We have space at all these places to bring a land vehicle. So, like, one thing that I think would be cool is, right, we go fishing. Right, we fish and we bring our fish in here, and then we unload our fish and we put it onto a truck. We despawn the boat and then we drive over to urine. That would be more fun to me every once in a while than just pulling up in your boat. So you drive over here and then you get rid of your fish. There's a reason why in the update video, or in the update pictures, let's bring that up right here. There's a reason why they have a dump truck. You can use your dump trucks you've already built, but instead of hauling coal or you can haul fish. So you don't have to rebuild your dump truck for fish. You can dump it right out of the hopper into a regular dump truck, and then you can drive it over and you can dump the fish into the hopper too. So that's another cool thing. So like I would love to do that in some of the career build series videos, is to actually go and transfer it from my boat onto a truck and do it. So like I want to put a little crane on that boat so that I can lift up a single hopper. So you would by hand pull out as many fish as you could. I think it's, what is it, 56, 25? I think it's 26 in a small hopper. You pull out 26 fish, you throw it in the hopper, you lift up the crane, it has a funnel in the bottom of the hopper, you put it over whatever receptacle you're going to do. Either you want to put it in the fishing thing here, or you want to put it in the back of a truck and you dump it in there, and then you drive it if you want, or however you like to do it. But you know, that adds a little bit more interest to me. You know, but you could always just store it in your hands too if you want to do really, really small scale. So I think that's really cool. Let's finish up with chat, and then I think we'll wrap it up here. Which was the strategic way to say I can't be bothered? Wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. Are you pin throttle? Are you using a condenser? Follow my Steam tutorials. That's you know, everything's working really well. Okay, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played with larges. I think Tripper was saying larges are really hungry. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever played with larges. I'll see you later there, Alexander. Yeah, I know Trippers expand. I haven't even played with that myself much. How often do I go live? At least a few times a week. I've been slowing down a little bit on the lives, but mostly just because I've been busy. But I try to go quite often. If I'm not really feeling it, I don't do it because I don't just play to play. I play when I want to play. So like I'm gonna get off play some Tarkov here in a little bit, but I've been doing it at least a few times a week. I've been streaming, so that's keep an eye out there, Joe. If you want, you can join the Discord too. It's down in the description below. I usually post in there. Did I not post the friggin' video today? I might not have. I don't think I did. I probably didn't even do it today. Yeah, I didn't post today's video, but it seems like most people found it here. Yeah, I didn't post it today in the Captain's videos, but usually when I go live, I post in Captain's videos, or you can set the notifications and it will tell you when I go live, but at least a few times a week. Some weeks I'll go stream 5 times a week. Playing lots of War Thunder, back at Stormworks. I'm just quickly going through chat here. I'm going to jump off. Yeah, that's a pretty good RPS for meters per second, yeah. Like one thing was I was getting so much power out of 8 total pistons. It was 4 pistons per propeller on the new home ship that I will figure out a name so Citrus doesn't keep giving me crap about it. That I purposely geared it down to slow down and to also make sure that when it pulls a barge, it can pull a heavy-ass barge. Oh, good to see you there, Tomcat and Fishing Boat. Nice new fishing boat's nice. Yeah, that's why I read it every week, and part of it is like reading for some people don't like to read for comprehension. They just quickly read it, and if you start to see these habits of how the devs write these things up, so many devs these days are scared because of their own shadow for good reason. Is people will glom on to anything they say and take it as a promise, and so then they say they're afraid to throw out an idea they might have had. Like for example, if I was building this game and say, oh, it would be really cool to put in some hydraulic pistons. Okay. So you say that one day and the community hears it. Well, now they think hydraulic pistons are coming. And then you get somebody who says, oh my God, guess what, guys? Hydraulic pistons are coming. So now it's a promise. Because somebody said, the devs said they're doing hydraulic pistons. And it becomes a game of telephone where, no, they didn't say they're doing hydraulic pistons. They said they were thinking about it, which means they might have thought about it for 5 minutes and said, oh, that would be cool, but it's too much work. Or, oh, that would be cool, not enough people are going to be interested. Or, oh, that would be cool, and we tried some stuff, and it's just not going to work right. Or it's too buggy, so we're not going to put it in the game. So that's why a lot of the stuff stays internal, is because people will take it as a promise. And then it gets built up. That was like, we went over some of the updates yesterday. And one of them, the amount of people who thought the game was being given up on and the devs were giving up on the game, and then they put it on Reddit and everywhere else that the devs are abandoning the game. And the devs literally did not say any of that. And like literally, I was doing it live. We read the update live with a bunch of other YouTubers. And a couple of them were like, oh, the devs are abandoning the game. Like, they did not say that. You guys must read the words clearly. They did not say that. And then the next week, everybody was losing their mind. And I had to quote 900 times exactly what they did say. And then the devs came out and said, no, we're not abandoning the game. We're going, and they literally would write, Stormworks is going to be around for a long time. Like 3 weeks ago, they put out, Stormworks is going to be around for a long time. And literally in the comments last week, somebody was like, the game's dying, or they're abandoning the game. They literally somebody put that in. It's like, obviously that person didn't read. So you can see the frustration. That's why I don't think the devs will put up any of those little things, is because it literally can be an absolute disaster for them if they do this. And they just have to spend all their time doing PR. And, that's a waste of their time as far as I'm concerned. I really would rather them not spend their time doing PR. I'd rather them spend their time working in the game. Some people are like, oh, I wish the devs would put out tutorials. I don't. Like, let me spend hours every night putting out tutorials and taking the time to do it. I would rather the devs work on the game. And that's kind of my whole thought process now on a lot of games is let the community put out tutorials. like if you have somebody like Tripper who is super interested in Steam, they know more about Steam than probably the devs do. They know more about Steam than probably, most of the community. And if they put out a tutorial on Steam, it's going to be better than something that the devs, they say, okay, I can spend an hour today making a tutorial, and they make a quick crap tutorial that doesn't actually teach you anything because they don't have the time for that. They should be working on the friggin' game. And so let them work on the game. Let us make tutorials who want to make tutorials because I enjoy doing it. And, it's like I put out the fractioning tutorial, another part of the fractioning tutorial last night. And, let me put it out. Let me explain it to you. Like my video, it was 20 minutes. Some people might think I'm stealing all their life with a 20-minute long video. And so you might get another YouTuber who puts out a 5-minute video. And so that way, the people who want a 5-minute video can go watch them. The people who want a 20-minute video can watch me. And it's better to let the community do some of that tutorializing, I think. Definitely. So I'm really excited about today's update. I think it's really good. I think it's opening up a lot of avenues for future stuff. I think they're absolutely 100% planning on commercial things from just what I'm seeing. And now is the time to do it. I'm going to make some videos in this week probably coming up of some of my ideas for it because this is the time where we can shape the game to be more how we want. And I'm glad what they did, the things they did the way they did them for the fishing update so far. They came in slow. Doesn't look like much of anything got broken. A couple spelling errors. People don't have their hair on fire as far as I know so far. And that's good. And then the next part can come out. And it will be hopefully low impact, no hair on fire. Next part comes out. Low impact, no hair on fire. And that makes it better for everybody. So to thank the members, Cider Mountain, Connor O'Boyle, Danny Sargent, Chaos, Aaron Repairs All, Citrus, Rasmus, Manda VR, and Anton Anderson. Thank you guys for being members. Thank you to Chicken Store for being a patron. If you guys are interested in becoming a member or patron, you can look down the description below. A lot of new people here today. If you did enjoy the video and you'd like to subscribe, I would appreciate that. If you guys would like the video, that helps other people find it. And if you guys would watch some of the tutorials put out recently, and if you do like them, please like them. And I will see you guys later.